Welcome in, everybody, to our season 17 finals in the invitationals here. I am live now. I'm Gunny Hartman live with Saint Dizzy, the saint of the shrimp wheels himself. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Sean, how you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling good. I'm ready. I'm excited to watch all this. How about you?
Oh, I'm so ready to go. We have ourselves a fantastic showdown in our Crystal division. If you're new here, we have several divisions now competing in this season 17 League of Legend action. Four of them, and tonight is the first of many now invitationals. This is our end of season All Stars event where you, the fans, have voted in five players to represent each team, so 10 in total to face off on Summoner's Rift tonight. We're going to get ourselves 3 games of fun action, and we're off to a little bit of a slower start tonight, so thank you for hanging in with us here. But we're going to get up and going pretty soon. If you're new to our invitational matches, the format is pretty simple. This is the best of 3, but no matter what, these are the people that you wanted to see play, so we are going to get 3 games in tonight with these players. And without further ado, let's go ahead and introduce the 2 teams here. Uh, we have representing Thresh Me Gently, a team of Frosty Penguins, Goji Daddy, Moen, Space Dandy, and Zorella Bear. And from Team Teal Mustang Gang, definitely not a ripoff from any famous artist right now. Aspen, Calamity Shades, Disc 100, Psy Hero, and Third Person. So this should be a fantastic best of 3 tonight, and we're going to jump into draft here in a second. But before we get started, let's get to know the casters a little bit. Sean, how's the season treating you?
Season was treating me pretty well. I felt really good. I was first in the season most of the time there. I kind of fell off at the end as I got a little too big for my britches, but it was good. It was I felt challenged when I didn't want to, and I felt really confident when I probably shouldn't have. And it was good. I had a lot of fun and a lot of good competition. Most of which are playing tonight. So I got a lot of hope for a really exciting game tonight. But yeah, I had a good season.
So much fun. And everybody playing in our league, of course, comes in representing 2 lanes typically, unless you're one of those fill players. So, what are your primary lanes, Sean?
Well, and usually I'm like support on top, and then in CM I go fill because there's I think 37 out of 20 players in Crystal or support. So I played top mostly this season, and some mid. Um, but yeah, I filled basically. So I played wherever I could.
Nice. We
Yeah.
always enjoy having the fill players around too, though. With having so many different divisions, getting the perfect number of players in every lane can be a little bit difficult. But we've got 10 of some of the Crystal best representatives out there, and a couple of really good matchups overall here. As just scouring our leaderboards on CMSAesports.com, where right in the season 17 leaderboards for League of Legends, we can see, I believe we have a kill. No, we have potentially an assist leader on the board here. Playing today, leading in assists is Disc 100 across the season with 273 assists. So always great to see support representation, and we'll spin through a couple more of these stats as we go. But we are jumping into Champ Select now with Twitch getting banned out quickly. A target ban definitely into Frosty Penguins.
Life is too short for fear.
Savage Twitch player for so long.
Absolutely, and then comes up the third ban as well, third person's ban on Malawi. Then followed by
Yeah.
Goji's Yorick, so that was kind of things we expected to see. Um, we'll probably see the Zillion and then the Kale here, like for sure. We'll probably see Zillion soon for a couple of them as well.
Yeah,
Some
targeted
tough
over
ones
to
early on.
Moens.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. A lot of these players with some pretty strong solo queue picks. Maybe not one trick per se, but the Zillions, John in chat says Zillion player respects Zillion player.
Absolutely.
Let me get in
Yeah,
there.
Didn't see that though. So let's see what we first pick.
Yeah, Zillion left up here. I'm excited to see if they go for an early bot lane pick here, perhaps, as Lysandra hovered and picked. So Lysandra, a classic Psy hero pick, definitely a comfort pick, moving
Absolutely.
into the mid lane in game
Yeah.
one.
Surprised they didn't get banned actually for the over the Tristana. Usually there's the Zillion, but I usually would see Lysandra get taken out for Sire almost immediately.
Yeah, I guess those targets definitely getting onto third person with the Alawi and Kale. Both of those super strong. It's play with both. If you let the scaling happen with either of them is just disgusting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Second pick here, Leona. So we know now for sure that a Zillion mid, Leona
mid.
going in support.
And Moens is really comfortable with Zillion mid as well. His roaming is pretty good, and he's able to kind of get good vision and get good support for objectives and his lane control too. So he does a good job with that Zillion mid, especially once he can get a leveled up speed boost. The E gets leveled up, and you just kind of have a lot of good mobility.
Yeah, that free save from the ultimate's really nice. Kind of got a pretty good CC comp in Zillion, Leona, and we see a potential pick comp too coming out from Lysandra, Shyvana, who want to go in quickly to the back lane and maybe get some free heals from the Seraphine down in the bot lane too. As last pick of round one could be the bot lane matchup picked here. It is the Vi that's going to come through in the jungle.
That Seraphine for Disc is going to be pretty impactful as well. Their Seraphine is definitely something that's feared by many. So usually it's an early game ban, but I guess with so many bans to take care of, it's hard to get them all.
Yeah, Misfortune Band coming through now into the bot lane. Calamity Shades and Disc 100. Heimer also taking away the anti-split pusher that is Heimer. But go buttons available for both teams now. It looks like when we talk about having a Lysandra, a Shyvana, you're committing really hard to going in deep, but same could be said with a Vi flashing into your bot lane with a little bit more safety and a Zillion ult.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
two team fight teams, perhaps.
And one of the impactful things too, I mean, just focusing on the Zillion with Mullins for a second is if he depends on what he levels up first. If he gets his E max first, then he's gonna have 90%, 99% slow and just kind of stop people in their tracks for the Leona, the Vi, for anyone to get on him, and then now the Kog'Maw to chew him up.
Yeah,
big pick of the Kog'Maw.
They're saving that counter pick for mid too. So hyperscaling out of Kog'Maw and a get out of jail free card from a Zillion. Late game scaling is there. And I like the Ashe hover here. You've got the slows, you've got the rundown opportunities too. With Shyvana and Lysandra, an Ashe ult does not hurt. That Crystalline Arrow coming in could change the tide of a fight, especially onto a Kog'Maw or a Zillion.
Or a Vi ult even too, just to be able to stop her in her tracks.
John in the chat now shouting out Disc 100 Seraphine is an absolute classic. Sejuani rounding off the team comp. Very blue team on one side here.
So we're probably looking at a Shyvana top, I guess. Is it right? Shyvana top of Sejuani jungle.
That's what I'm seeing. I don't expect anything cheeky out of a Seraphine solo lane here. So we're getting the last pick from Team Thresh Me Gently, and it is Udyr, so quite a bit more tankiness over there, and that maybe, is that a lane Vi, or is that a lane Udyr?
I could see it going either way. I would think they may have saved the top lane pick for last, so it could be Udyr, but maybe it was a flex.
Yeah, most likely Udyr top and into Shyvana might be able to push out pretty good. Goji maybe confident on that Udyr pick, and we've got a couple minutes of delay here before we get into this game. Who are you giving to the edge to in team comps right now in Thresh Me Gently versus the Teal Mustang gang, Sean?
If I had to, I'd have to go with Rush Me Gently because I'm a Zillion main, so it's hard for me to ignore that. But I also, I do really well with Sejuani, so I like to see either side doing a lot. I'd probably give it a little bit to with the to Thresh Me Gently though, just because of that Zillion, just an
Yeah.
extra free life.
Zillion feels strong. I think part of it for me comes down to what this top lane matchup looks like as it looks to be a Sejuani top into this Udyr.
Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see how that all plays out. Both being able to kind of poke and back up and kind of go back and forth. I say poke with close range. Just a lot of a dance back and forth between the two of them. So it'd be really interesting to see who makes the first. I don't want to say misstep, but who takes advantage of someone else is quicker than the other. Um, be,
Out of nowhere, our cameraman shout outs to Gung Pao here, going to be running behind the scenes all night for us. But an Ignite Sejuani is very scary. Unfortunately, the caster team here, I don't think can see the summoner spells. So anybody in the
yeah,
chat wants to call these out for us so we can get an early glimpse of what shows. But yeah, Sejuani then looking for a kill lane, maybe shutting down the Udyr early to give yourself some lane dominance. I could see that working out pretty well in this pick comp in general. I think for team Teal Mustang Gang, which is our team with Sejuani here, they're looking to team fight. They've got a Sejuani, they've got a Shyvana. I'm interested to see if this is AP or AD Shyvana, but they've got pretty clear engage tools, and if they can group early for fights, they could take early control of this game. But just as volatile as Thresh Me Gently, if they can get an early lead, like you said, with that Zillion coming out, they have tickets into the back line as well, and have a get out of jail free card. So this
yeah,
could be quite a showdown for objectives here.
that's right. I mean, and the one thing I would say is that the Zillion is going to take a little bit of time to kind of be more impactful. Not until 6 really. So there's a lot more mobility that the Lissandra could have, or even the Sejuani coming down, trying to help out and get some kills and secure the mid lane a little bit more as well. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'd love to see
it's
some of that double bomb play into Lissandra, stopping her from casting the second half of her E, not being able to get away with the claw.
yep, yep, for sure. And then I'm also curious to see how it's going to work with the Seraphine bot lane into the Cog and Leona. And just see how impactful they can be with going into Leona there and then the range and the Kog'Maw.
Yeah, a lot of volatile matchups here. And before we jump into this game, too, if you're not familiar, welcome to CMSA Esports. We are representing the largest LGBTQIA plus sports and entertainment in the Midwest, for sure. With our esports division here, we have lots of games that we play. Please come and play with us. We have leagues for League of Legends, both Summoner's Rift that we're watching here tonight, but also an ARAM league. A lot of our leagues are finishing up now for the season, so perfect time to get in for next season. But we also play Overwatch, Fortnite, Dead by Daylight, a whole host of other games. Come join our server. Check us out on cmsaesports.com. And if you're looking for swag with some of the newer logo stuff, not this old throwback one, go to CMSA Esports, shop.cmsaesports.com and pick yourself up some swag there as we slowly get loaded into this game. So
Oh,
excited for another Crystal for our first. This is our first time with the Crystal division here.
yeah, absolutely. It should be a good time. I'm excited to see how things go, and I'm also looking to see looking for the teal Mustang gang, seeing how we're seeing how their colors shine through here.
Definitely not the Pink Pony Club, the Teal Mustang Gang representing. And do we have a skin advantage here for either team? It looks like we have foreskin. We have foreskin on the side
We
of
do, yeah. Mhm.
Teal Mustang game here.
Yeah, it looks like the Lysandra maybe like kept with the original to get more teal uh, for the teal Mustang gang.
I think you're 100% right. And oh, bug splat now. Uh-oh. we'll see. Interesting too. I would guess that Lissandra pick for Psy Hero might be one of like the highest mastery in the game too, as far as these individual champions. So yeah, 4 million
Oh my god,
mastery
yeah.
here. If I were to take a guess, that is the highest
Yeah,
mastery on
yeah,
either team, and it's the
absolutely.
only one with no skins. So commitment to the lasagna mid.
Yeah, absolutely. I would have wondered if Moens was close, but I didn't realize that Sai was that far along.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of mastery along with all these champs here. And I think this is gonna be is gonna make for some really big plays.
Hopefully, most of these invitationals, that first game, we see teams feeling each other out in the first game here, spanning out for those 5 points in level one. I myself am a big fan of a good level one engage, but we do see 4 points. Udyr still in base at
30
this
seconds
point, but
until minions
Sejuani
spawn.
not pushing up for vision at this point. Ward down up top. Spotted out is the Vi walking towards the bot lane. It looks like we'll have no engages here for this level one.
I think you nailed it. Trying to fill each other out and kind of see who's gonna do what, and not to push too hard in the first game. Save the spice for a little later, maybe.
That being said, these people have played against each other for 8 weeks now, so none of these matchups are probably new. These may be things that they have encountered for weeks, if not years on end, with some of these players here. Third person, Psy Hero, Calamity Shades, Frosty, some of Moen, some of those names who have been here, and some of the newer names too. It's great to see some new faces making it directly into the invitationals with Aspen and Zarella Bear. Face Dandy, a newer player too.
Yeah, it was good to see the way this league worked out. This Crystal League, bringing in for kind of some of the lower ranks and kind of giving a little bit of a gap between, the Iron Bronze versus the Gold and Silver, which is nice to kind of have. But with that being said, there has been, most of these people have played each other almost every week. It's with 4 teams, you're going to have repeats every time. So it was they're all pretty familiar with each other. So we should see a lot of really good matchups and a lot of people who are comfortable with how each other play.
Yeah, that's what I think I find most exciting about the Invitationals is finally getting, it's almost like the build up the whole season as early level 2 for third person, not transitioning quite into the damage onto GoDaddy. But Frosty pushing Disc out early in the bot lane here, just level 1. Calamity actually hitting level 2 first here, won't quite have the damage to convert it to anything at this point, but lanes are pretty even. Jungler's matching clear now. Both of them clearing bottom to top, so we might see some action here towards the top side in about a minute from now.
Looks like the Vi's going a little faster. Oh, engaged her.
Yeah, big damage over Disc 100. Actually going to drop here. First blood going down, taking out the Kog'Maw, I believe. So potentially this is advantage over to Teal Mustang Gang on the blue side. As I was just about to say, the trade advantage probably on the side of Teal Mustang Gang, having the Seraphine to heal you up, but the Ignite coming down and trading a kill back as Frosty.
So that's gonna get Ash up ahead pretty quickly here.
And you're right, Vi early advantage, flashes in with the Q, gets some damage down, red buff ticking, not enough to get the kill here, but yeah, just a little bit of an advantage, like you said, Sean, in the jungle from having the Vi, probably passive damage on the W. Armor Shred. Nets the gank early top, the teleport now used, and probably top Scuttle. So gotta press those advantages on Vi because you are a faster clearer into Shyvana, but doing so well.
Here.
Ward spotting out. Face standing walking in. Won't have the flash, won't have a Q angle here. Psy Hero a little low on mana, but will get it back with the next level.
Curious to see how Space Dandy does with the just vision in general on the map here, and how they can force some of the players in the lanes out of their lane, out of their comfort zone, force the the Shyvana into places they want to be able to kind of get some jump scares and maybe some picks on the jungle early game. It's kind of a Space Dandy special from what I've seen.
Space Dandy, yeah, special indeed. Visiting all 3 lanes here, just popping down mid for a drive-by. But honestly, a great time to visit the bot lane, as the First Blood did go over to the side of Teal Mustang Gang, but they haven't gotten a back though. So all in all, you have a Kog'Maw with a longsword advantage, a two component advantage actually, in the bot side, if a gank were to break out, and it looks like Shyvana sneaking their way down there.
He's trying to get both junglers in the bottom there. Dragon's up, and Udyr
Third
is...
person.
Oof.
Playing with that turret damage. Solo does end up getting the kill in the top lane. A solo bolo.
With the ignite and with the flail coming in here. And
almost thwarting the damage. Almost getting out of there, but that damage from Dis 100 and Shades translating really well as Psyhero goes a little early on second cast. Might be okay though, because is level 6. It says, sit there for a second, hun. You're dead.
That's right, Gunny. And let's see if that's going to give them an opportunity to get this dragon.
Could translate right into it. It is so scary to see a level 6 Lissandra next to a level 3 Seraphine.
Oh, this is dangerous here. They don't know the Vi is there. They're all low. This could be a bad time for them.
Dandy creeping in, immediately goes on the enemy jungler, does get Aspen, another kill going on to Kog'Maw. What a turnaround is this? And again, Shades has not found the opportunity to back yet, so I think this ends up as a net gain for the side of Thresh Me Gently.
It seems like it. I know there's a gold deficit on their side. It's almost the game kind of taking ahead in gold, but I think this is going to end up kind of helping to snowball a little bit in Teal Mustang's favor. Oh, sorry, in Thresh Me Gently's favor.
Yeah, what turned out as a pretty strong advantage with that first kill. Again, that early back timer, such an advantage, and a great spell shield from the side of Goji Daddy, stopping third person from trying to pick up a second kill in this top lane. But looks like one plate going over to the bot lane of Thresh Me Gently here as they push in. And yeah, won't be able to get a second one at all, but a dragon and a plate, not too shabby for you as the fight continues in the top lane here. Third person taking one shot of damage, but hitting level 7 of ahead by 6 minions right now will be earned back by Goji Daddy under this turret. And next objectives.
We got a stun from Moens there after teleport in, and I think it looks like maybe they didn't expect that stun to connect, as Space tried to anticipate where Sai was going, and then Sai was able to flash and kind of easily get out of there.
And one thing we missed in those early trades too, in that secondary fight in the bot lane, is that was the first feat going over the side of Teal Mustang Gang. And feat, new to the game since our last invitationals. What are some of your thoughts on the feat system, Sean?
I think they're important, whether you get the boots or not. The fights that start to revolve around those feats are pretty impactful, and it gets people out of lane into certain places. And so I've seen tides turn completely because people are just trying to secure their feet and end up either getting them and pushing them more or losing it. So I think they definitely have a big play in this, whether, like I said, whether the boots got attained or not.
So we see Space Dandy creeping around, trying to fight back on this level advantage from third person here. Gets the damage through. E comes down, unstoppable, running forward as Goji Daddy. Maybe gets the stun down, stun landing. No ultimate for Space Dandy, but they do get the final kill. Goji picking it up and maybe turning that lane down as Aspen wisely snuffs out a free opportunity to pick Grubs meanwhile.
That was
very even.
Sneaky Grubs right there. I didn't expect that to happen with everything going on up top there. I guess they saw how easily they'd be able to do it without getting someone to turn on them.
Yeah, just to the north side, the fight is going on, but very quick solo take from Shyvana.
We're seeing the AP Shyvana.
Yeah, officially coming through. AP Shyvana. Anything else crazy? And I don't see anything out of the norm so much. Sejuani potentially going for the Heartsteel build. Always fun to see. Sai Hero looks down the barrel of another Q, walks away, does get the claw back under the turret. Moen's, of course, going to trade a bomb in there. Every opportunity to drop a bomb on your head, Moen's is going to take.
And that's the Zillion way.
the Moen special.
And one thing I've learned is they usually hit more accurately if you can do the Zillion laugh, too.
Yeah, Seraphine 2 ultimates, 3 committed down the middle here as they might have enough damage to get Dandy. Dandy actually just burning the flash, makes it over the long wall, and Zarella Bear gonna have to limp out of here watching Dandy go down, but so close was that fight. Aspen trading back into the bot lane. Frosty very strong ahead. Doesn't have the BF sword, doesn't have the damage to get the kill here, but very scary was that next trade in there. All in all, getting the kill on Space Dandy is the side of Teal Mustang Gang.
That's right. And yeah, they need to kind of be a little more careful with Frosty here with that damage.
Oh, Dis does not miss. Everything landing one after another. Hits the ultimate into the jungle, comes back with the double Q combo.
Yeah, it's impressive to see. And that was one of the first ones I noticed in the draft when they were drafting, was letting that Seraphine through. You know, everyone's got their champions to ban, #ban Yi, but you know, it's one of those champions that I never let through when I played against this either.
Yeah, that's a tough one as third person again, trading some damage to Goji. Maybe low enough, drops the ignite, gets the kill again. And still worth 320 gold on that one after picking up a kill earlier. And the third person special is that constant lane pressure as we see a Demolish proc about to go through. So tough to play with despite not getting their main Alawi or Kale. You know, I was worried you wouldn't have the same kind of split pressure in Sejuani, but eat my hat. That is not an issue on the Sejuani.
I wondered the same thing, and I was wondering if they would use that to just kind of be more of a tank and more of more mobility or something. But you know, that she is dominating up there.
Yeah, I really haven't needed to group for the fight. Vision control not on the side of Thresh Me Gently as they push in for this. You saw a level go over to Space Dandy, who's hitting 8 here, which puts them in the lead over the opposite jungler, not having same level of smite though, so this comes down to a 50-50 as damage comes through. Zarella Bear in a little bit deep here. Moen's getting the double stun on the 2 and will not go down. Moen's with the save here. Fight continues. Dandy getting the dragon, pushing for more here. Gets the kill over to Aspen, but will drop for it as Calamity and Sai Hero moving back here, looking for Zarella, surviving so long in this fight. Does drop eventually. Sai getting out. Calamity pushing back towards the middle here. Moen's trying to trace down. Does eat one more set of arrows, and Frosty trying to trade back here as we are currently at a 1 for 2, 2 for 2 now. But Dragon evened up here. I misspoke. Aspen getting the Dragon there. What a trade.
Yeah, that was incredible to see. There was a lot of good focus, a lot of good mouse work, and the Zillion ult coming through. Thought it was going to completely change things, and it turns out that it did.
Oh, Frosty, yeah, getting strong already too. We thought the Sejuani was getting big, but Frosty on the opposite side, trading back damage very well. What a team fight from both sides there. Prio to the Dragon for Aspen, and ends up being a great choice. Of course, Dragon on Dragon violence, but that's how you scale as a Shyvana.
Yeah, that's right, Gunny. And so, see, I can't stop thinking about the Dragon on Dragon violence. Yeah, it's you never like to see a Shyvana that can't enact some violence on other dragons, but yeah, good to see some focus there, and looks like maybe get some plates here too.
Yeah, Space Dandy wisely moving up the top, maybe to try to shut down that split push with the Sejuani as that tower is pretty low. And talking about feats, that next feat for first tower is a big one here. Usually the deciding factor in getting the feats is first to 3 kills and first to tower, especially with the aggressiveness we're seeing out of both teams. Frosty walks up. Disc hasn't missed anything. Frosty's alone here. Zarella going to clear a ward at this point. Might get the trade over there. Zarella staying in, will trade back the kill, but it's support for ADC at this point. Calamity going to try to run down Zarella Bear, but that W armor going to keep them alive. And a little bit of a tough trade as third person finally might go down, but limps out of there. 6 legs and out.
Squeaks out of it, and Sai's coming up to try to help out with that. We'll see if third tries to stay and be oppressive here.
It looks like some questions in the chat. A little argument going up about the third person Ignite build here, but proving so strong as now rotating 3 members top, but answering with 3 is the side of Thresh Me Gently. They're seeing this deep push in from Aspermouth may be overextending here, will flash away, gets the Blast Plant onto Space Dandy, Wombo combo, but doesn't know that Psy Hero's buying and wait, turns a little bit to the side, will eat an ultimate, frozen in time. Space Dandy gets a great flash and should survive.
And that was a good recovery from not knowing that Sai was laying in wait there. And so let's see if they can still get out.
Yeah, Aspen Moth almost caught deep there. It almost turns it around on Space Dandy. And first turret still an option here for third person trying to push in, but Frosty says, that's my feet. And takes it.
First turret, okay.
Yeah.
Gold lead pulling away a little bit here. They can't come back from.
Yeah, grouped up are the Teal Mustang gang looking to take this Rip Trail, get back a turret on their own as the turret top does eventually drop to the Sejuani, continuing to push in a 4-level disparity now between 3 levels between third person and Space Dandy, pushing that lead, dropping under the turret, eating 1 Q, but third person does not care, not relenting. As Sai steps just a bit too far into what they thought was their own jungle, but look at the vision control from red side. Eating out too, and we see Frosty trying to dominate this mid lane here, wisely going for Disc first, but Disc gets all the damage off before the fight can really break out, and so Zoelbear is forced to stay in there and eat the slows from Calamity Shades. Maybe an opportunity to get out here, limps away, doesn't quite get away from the damage, and traded back to the side of Teal Mustang gang as they stare down this mid lane, maybe taking another turret. Dragon spawning just a moment here, 10 seconds. And yeah, like I said, great vision control. We see Moens finishing Seraph's Embrace, going Seraph's Embrace only, so not necessarily a ton of damage until hitting this point now as third person gets closed in on here. This is still a level advantage on Nagoji, focusing on Nagoji, gets the stun, gets the extra play in there, does the damage, now turning attention towards Space Dandy, not running away until the stun goes down. Space Dandy pushing in, no ultimate available, no flash available, but can hit a Q. Big QE combo. Trading back the Dragon though.
Shyvana with more dragons here, looking good there, kind of cleaning up. More dragon on dragon violence that lives rent free in my head now.
Immediately turning mid. Great stun by Zoelbear off to the side there. You see Frosty drop, but potentially saving a faster death from Frosty. And a traded back would not have happened had Zoelbear not landed the E combo to stun up Aspen Moth, who was waiting in the wake with an ultimate.
That was great to see. And one thing with the vision we're talking about too with these two is, I think Disc is second in vision in the league by I think three vision points. So Disc vision is really top notch, and same with Zero.
Yeah, in a league of supports that is CMSA, we love seeing vision score across the board, with our current leader being that Seraphine right now in this game. But despite all the vision on Dragon side, it was the Dragon herself that picked this one up, going from a 0-1 disadvantage, and Dragon's now up 2-1 and finding themselves with a kill lead. What are you looking for now to push this advantage if you are on the side of Teal Mustang gang? What are you calling for here, Sean?
If that were me, I would be looking at letting third kind of keep split pushing and forcing the team to kind of have to send more than one person towards them to fight that off. But then trying to get picks on Frosty, because that's going to be where this game can, I think, change very quickly. The amount of damage that Frosty does is pretty devastating.
I think you're 100% right, and they do find Frosty up just a little bit there with 3 champions available. God, that damage, even from the passive from Frosty, is scary. Getting a kill back earlier from it. As Goji dropping low, will flash out. Ethan ultimate, third person, walks through it. Explosion in the background, doesn't care. And will continue on this turret as a trade back in the mid lane here as we see Disc actually going down. Ultimate eaten. And 2 kills going back the other way. So as quickly as we see the advantage push from Teal Mustang game, the grouping on the side of Thresh Me Gently proves very powerful in this mid lane.
Yeah, I think they're focusing their efforts in the right places, and I think they may be starting to kind of pull things together a little bit to shift how oppressive Teal Mustang gang is being. So I'll see what they can do with this.
I think you're 100% right on the push from Teal Mustang gang. Frosty trying to do what they can to push back that split push from third person. Will end up dying. Doesn't lose the tower for it. Put some damage over to third person. Probably forcing them to back now. It's hard to trade your AD carry to stop the push, but with no other objective on the board right now, nothing but CS completely missed at that point.
And Otacon is Otacon's up right now. That's one thing that could be looked at.
Yeah, also a new thing since our last invitationals. A lot of focus from Riot on more objectives as I can't tell if that was stolen away by Disc there. It was so close. Zorella Bear, great footwork. The dancing shoes gets away long enough to put a stun back down on the Aspen Moth. Damage coming through. Moen's trying to look for a second stun. Zorella finds himself in the middle of this fight though. Before Goji can quite get there, Frosty's sprinting down here to try to turn back one as the Crystal and Arrow hits onto Moen's. Moen's get out of jail free might be available, but not great with your stunned up. And a double kill going back, triple kill onto the Ashe here as they stare down potentially an inhib turret. What a fight.
Yeah, that was something else. The work from Leona was great. They hold up as long as she could, and then I think there was just a couple great shots from Calamity to pinpoint precision there to take the hits, to get the hits, get the kills.
Yeah, this Shades Disc combo, they are one hive mind at this point, moving so well together. Space Dandy clears out this top wave, forcing Psy Hero to run away a little bit here. Disc trying to land some more damage as it looks like the focus is going to be top lane, but they're getting mid for free as the inhibitor slowly drops. I love the macro coming out of our Crystal League here right now as they can't quite get the mid inhib and they are going to back off. So I'd love to see a full team back away here as Dragon and Otacon are both up. Unless this is the distraction squad in the top lane.
Seems like it. It looks like we got 3 moving towards drag, so it looks like they'll probably take that.
And wisely, Thresh Me Gently, knowing that they're pushed into their base, knowing that they don't have the ward control right now, they're stacking as 5. Strength in numbers. They can't kill us all. Staying together. And as long as you don't get hit by a Disc ultimate, the rest of the damage does require commitment. Psy Hero can't do damage unless they're right on your face. Same with Shyvana. So Crystal and Arrow just miss Frosty here. Oh, a little bit of the Dragon's Breath might be enough to finish it off. Oh, Frosty almost trading one back here as Shades goes legendary in this fight. Moen's trying to get the stun on the Psy Hero. Space Dandy limping away, gets charmed by Disc too. Never less than one person hit with a charm from Disc. And the oppression setting in.
Absolutely.
As third person casually takes the inhib top.
Really, I mean, that could have been a lot worse too. That was a good escape on the part of Moen and Space Dandy there between the Zillion ult and then the bomb to stop them from following up after the 5 seconds is up, getting 2 of them out to safety.
Third person, just gross. Goji Daddy always on that unbreakable though, always stopping the stun from coming through. Is going to try to chase down Goji Daddy. They know that Otacon is not an option right here, and a shutdown, and this is what they need from the side of Thresh Me Gently, is to take some of those shutdowns off the board, especially with Ashe sitting on probably buying about 1.5 items here. As 14, 1, and 5, a couple more shutdowns on the board. Yeah, 3,500 gold. That is how I think you're supposed to back at 3,500 gold every time.
Yeah, I've been known to forget once or twice as well. Get a ping on the side of like, hey, you should go spend some money. But yeah, I think you're rolling as a team. I mean, I think going as like a little death ball is going to be what helps them through this, especially with we talked about how tanky they were, the zillion ults, the damage coming from Frosty. I think they could, if they roll together as a team really well, they could have a pretty good impact.
Frosty playing heavy on the front line does a ton of damage. As long as Frosty can step a crystalline arrow here, they're able to play fast and loose. Yeah, John calling out in the chat.
Right.
Fight maybe breaking out. Frosty, yeah, trading the damage is Frosty here. Nothing doing otherwise.
I've seen Frosty's gets a little risky. He steps out in front like you were saying, and I think there'll probably be a big play that ends up biting him.
Yeah, a lot of look at that charm may be available there from Disc, holding it wisely at this point, but when you do group up like that, you run the chance of eating a crystal and arrow. Does cleanse out, walks away a little bit, but eats a charm right after. Goes down as Frosty's face standing, trying to hold on Zero there, doing the same. And that's 3 kills over to the side of Teal Mustang Gang, who are gonna push. No, they're gonna run a split comp here to get probably 2 inhibs, and maybe look for Baron. Doubling back as Aspen now deciding to go with the team. Maybe they're calling for an end at this point, but continuing to push is third person in that bot lane, and I don't know who can answer third person at this point.
Yeah, I'm not sure if anyone can. I mean, between the stuns and the damage, you have to get them completely locked down. And how many stuns do you use to let Frosty sit and do damage on him? Meanwhile, the rest of the team is wiping him out.
Yeah. Frosty can do a ton of damage, though. We've seen it multiple times. Ultimate's down. They're running in. Does clear some of the wave. Will get some more damage onto Disc and Calamity here. Not enough to kill them, and we're looking at 1 inhib. The last thing we haven't talked about as a major change in League of Legends since the last Invitationals is the respawning Nexus turrets. Can they survive long enough? Is this the Alamo? Moen's trying, Zarella goes down, resurrect onto Moen's one last time for yourself, friend. Goji comes in to try to get the save, and I don't think it'll be enough. Game 1 goes over to the Teal Mustang Gang.
In the books, yeah. I think they did a good job holding on for the lead holding on as long as they could, and I think they knew they had to fight and push, shove in towards the end there, and they did the best they could. It was good game, good fights across the board. Just a tough team.
I agree 100%. You saw the early movement from Space Danny on that Vi. Basically playing River Vi, knows that they have a faster clear, goes from top to bottom in ganks, tries to hit as much as they can, didn't quite convert. And I think we talked about the team fight too. If you can keep Frosty alive, you can probably get a lot of damage out, but wasn't quite enough in game 1. Who would you say gets the MVP here? For game 1, John?
Oh, it's hard to say. I mean, I could see it going a lot of different ways. Potentially, third person with just being able to have just so much pressure, so much oppression on them, and they had to be answered. They were unstoppable. They were able to make a lot of things happen. So I can go a few different ways, really.
Yeah, I think between third person with unlimited pressure and kills, and you had Shades, of course, 14-1 finishing
Yep,
the game there.
absolutely.
Dis never missing a stun at any point. Sahir willing to jump in and trade for the team, hitting some good ultimates. Aspen, not to be understated here, knowing that the first clear is so much. Oh, Dis says 16-1 actually for the for the Ash at the end. Thank you. Aspen knowing that the clear isn't quite as quick, but then coming back and looking for that dragon on dragon violence later for the scaling. Let's
Yeah.
go ahead and bring third person up here. Third person.
Oh,
My
hi.
goodness. Oh, hello.
Hello.
You've been drugged to the stream. Welcome, friend.
Hi.
Quite an exciting first game there. We saw very quickly your opponents in Thresh Me Gently were ready to ban out the classic third person Kale and Alawi. What were comms like when you see two of your picks go down quickly in ban phase?
Mm, expected. No, I think it was like, oh shit, or oh dang, what do I do? Oh no. um, I kind of panicked, but I didn't know who they were gonna pick for top lane, and so I was kind of panicking. So I let my other teammates go first. Um, and then of course my other champion I've been playing is Urgot, so I had to go old school. I used to play Sejuani top lane all the time, but I kind of stopped. So
Mhm.
that's the only thing I knew to do.
Sejuani very different from the rest of your champ pool too, and the Urgot, Kale, Alawi. What else are you hiding from us?
I don't know. Should I say? Um.
As someone who plays
Well, I've
against
been.
you, yes, absolutely.
Oh right. Okay. Well, all right. Well, I've been learning Gnar, so playing Gnar more. I've also been playing Fiora. I used to play Lilia top lane a long time ago. Um, so I still do that occasionally, but yeah, I'm slowly starting to grow my champ pool.
No,
Always impressive to watch you play, and we didn't really know what to expect from the Sejuani, and we were definitely impressed watching things happen and watching you just kind of steamroll your way down the lane there. So it
Yeah,
felt impressive.
that's that's my game, my play style. Honestly, I like to just steamroll and allow my team to kind of get the jungles and whatever to get objectives. And hopefully, by me steamrolling whatever lane I'm in, I'm distracting the other team because I'm sort of forcing the team to choose whether to allow me to get to base or do they want the objectives. So that's kind of my play style.
Oh,
Yeah, no.
thank you so much for joining us, two third person. I do have to ask before you go, for all the doubters out there, the haters saying you can't play Ignite top with a Sejuani. What do we have for them?
I mean, yeah, don't think anything about it. Don't be afraid. Come a little closer. It won't hurt. It'll be fine.
Watch the replay. And a tough matchup you have up there against Gogi Daddy too. Doing a great job
Yeah,
blocking out some of the stuns there. I'm excited to watch you in game two here.
I know. We'll see who they let through. So fingers crossed.
Think we'll see a
Yeah, man.
Sejuani ban?
I don't know. Probably. I don't know. Can they ban four of one person's champs? We'll find out. Tune in next time.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thanks.
good luck in game two. I'll send you back there so you can get ready. And I think you're on the mark there, Sean. Like at this point now, do bans have to change from game one to game two? What do you see differently?
Yeah, I feel like you can't ignore the third person allowance, and they'll have to ban that. And I think it's or I mean, or I guess the same with the Kales, but really it's maybe the lesser of two evils at that point. Do they keep something like a Sejuani from coming through again and deal with a Kale or deal with an Alawi, whatever is less oppressive to them. So um or maybe they even try to take one too. I'm not really sure, but I feel like that's going to be kind of a focus of seeing what can either counter something big up top or what they can do to get rid of something that impactful.
Yeah, that is a tough one. Maybe, it's sticking with the same bands in the Kale and Alawi and maybe getting like that Yorick first round over to Goji Daddy might be the way. Nothing stops a split push like a good split push.
Yeah.
Uh, but we'll see how the bands rock out. I don't know if there's anything I would necessarily change from the side of Teal Mustang Gang. Bands seem to go pretty well.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, and the other thing too is you kind of have to think: do you let the Seraphine through again? Like do you let the Lysandra through again? I mean, those are they weren't not impactful. They were absolutely impactful across the board, and you let through people's big names for these people. So Do you reevaluate your strategy and think third person is going to third person? So do we focus our efforts elsewhere and try to, stop the bleeding as much as we can with from a third person, but then try to focus more with more mid or more bot?
Yeah, because you always have the risk of Frosty, and we saw glimpses of it from the Cogmao in that first game too, particularly with Space Dandy getting across for good ganks early, and again, Moens with that back pocket Zillion, the potential for some good fights were there, but as the chat is saying right now too, I think you actually have to maybe get rid of that Seraphine, maybe something to add to the ban list. And like you said, maybe just let one of the picks for third person go through. Honestly, for me, I'm scared of the Alawi and the Kale,
Yeah.
but maybe I can't even make a decision. Which one do you let go through?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Same here. I mean, it's the Alawi for sure. I'm sorry, I banned the Alawi. I can't. That's one that I can't deal with. So that's me personally. But I think for other people, it may just be it's kind of like the devil you know versus the devil you don't. If you know you let's say you ban Alawi or ban one or the other, you're gonna get a Kale. So then you know how to prepare for that, right?
Yeah, yeah, I think so too. I think the Kale is punishable early, and the movement that we saw from Space Dandy was very, very strong. So if you can get another early ganking jungler, maybe you let the Kale through. The Alawi, it so tough to ignore those. I mean, these are, as somebody who also plays in Pearl, we have I'm an Alawi player myself, so it's not something you can necessarily ignore. John wants you to let Kale through and pick Nasus. Probably wants a Wither max too, though. So not sure if we can trust that 100%.
Yeah. Well, the one thing you can trust from John is you're always going to get a counter pick. So he knows the counters.
So true. And speaking of that, as we go into game two, the formats for today and for any of the invitationals you come to watch, first side selection was determined by coin flip. So that coin flip was won by the Teal Mustang gang, who opted for blue side after every game from here on out. Whichever team came across with the loss from the first game, they have side selection pick for game two. So Thresh Me Gently could choose to go back to red side if they think they have a strategy for this pick ban. They could choose to go and swap for blue side. It's completely up to them. So right now we are getting everybody side selection picked here. As everybody, of course, in our time off here, running quickly to the bathroom and to refill their drinks. If you are in this heat wave right now, make sure to keep the fluids pumping. It's a scorcher out there for most of us in the Midwest, and for any of our friends anywhere else. I'm happy for you if it's under 90 right now.
Yeah, absolutely hot. Uh, yeah, I'm drinking as much water as I can because I am sweaty and fat, and I gotta keep the good keep together here.
And I'll
Um,
pretend this is a cup of water.
Speaking of getting hot, though, talking about some John flame in the chat here. That was no flaming of John. That was just acknowledging John's visibility to pick counters every time, especially against me. No flaming at all.
It is. I can see why side selection here is a little tough too, because you had third person with the opportunity for last pick, but in doing that, you get most of your champion pool banned out by the time you get to pick number 5. And that's where you end up with something like the Sejuani top, not knowing that it would completely pop off in that game. But it's such a gamble. We see this a lot playing in the Pearl division, which I believe we'll have our invitationals for next week. So tune in next week for that cast as well. But that it's great to leave your mid laner or your top laner for last pick. But when you know they have a handful of super strong champs, it's so sad to see them get banned away in 5 bans across the board.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I think there's I don't want to say a school of thought, but one of the things I've seen is you either focus all of your bands on one person if you can who's super strong, or whatever the perceived. I don't think there's really a weak player on either of these teams, but the perceived weakness where someone, let's say, only plays a couple champions, you focus all your bands on them and just kind of completely obliterate them. Um, which is somebody who only has like a couple champs in each lane happens to me every time. Uh,
Yep.
so yeah, no, it's where do you want to focus? I think is the priority here.
The life of the Phil master. If you can figure
It's
out where you're going.
yeah, well, it's nice when nobody knows where you're going, and then as soon as they do, then you're kind of screwed. So
Yeah, and shout outs Calamity Shades here, mid game, prepping for game 2 here, subscribing with Prime. Thank you for 7 months and some bits coming through from Psy Hero, also in game. Man, sharing the love. Team Teal Mustang Game, TMG, coming in strong here. And a couple first time chatters as well. Aspen mid game showing up in chat here. Faye, friend of Disc, it looks like, showing up to support. We'd love to see everybody out here as Durg is offering a Kelton ban. Our cameraman is apparently being banned in the chat. Rock, welcome to the chat as well, too. Game 1 going over to the side of Teal Mustang Gang. That is the team of third person in the top lane, Aspen in the jungle, Psy Hero in the mid lane, Calamity Shades at 80 carry, and of course Disc 100 representing that Seraphine last game in the bot lane. And we are just now prepping. Oh, girlfriend love in the chat. Love it. Prepping for game 2 here against Thresh Me Gently with Goji Daddy up top. Space Dandy 94 repping the jungle. We've got Moens representing Crystal in the mid lane, and the duo combo of Frosty Penguins and Zorella Bear down in the bot lane. And we are excited as we get prepped for Champ Select. We did have teams flip sides here. So Team TMG is flipping over to red side here. So we'll see Goji Daddy with the bands. Will they be the same?
Life is too short for
Alawi for sure.
Alawi first. I was wondering if it was gonna be Alawi or Sejuani first.
Yeah, if you think the Sejuani is bad, wait till you see the Kale Alawi from third person. It's gross. Durg wants a support Teemo pick. And we won't see Twitch coming out for Frosty.
Similar band.
Probably all night.
I feel like we will see a Zillion band this time.
Options are available for the Zillion ban.
Yeah, there's the Lissandra. So I wonder if we'll see the Seraphine ban as well.
Yeah, I think that should be your third ban. Not only is this comfort bans, maybe they are opting to let the Kale through and play a team around, knowing that the Kale pick's there. Maybe this is the time to show off that Rammus now can block both armor and MR. Whoopity-doo. And Nasus ban.
They're reading the chat.
They're reading the chat. Look what you've done, John. Nasus ban, so they can't do the Kale Nemesis.
But John says now still the Kale, so let's see.
Could be. No,
there's no way he's gonna pass. Yeah, he wouldn't pass up that Yorick.
Yeah, and we talked about this. Getting the Yorick first round, I think, is so smart. This becomes a skill matchup in top, slower scaling from Kale. I think as a team, you need to decide if you want to take that first tower quickly as Yorick and give Kale the opportunity to free farm, or do you rotate bot to continue pushing if Yorick does get ahead? But Kindred, the Mark specialist, has basically 2 attack damage. Well, not necessarily attack damage, but 2 attackers, auto attackers in Kale and Kindred.
Let's see the Tristana coming through for Frosty, which is going to be big. This would probably be a Zillion pick too if they didn't take that out. I don't know why they wouldn't.
I don't see any reason not to, unless they're cooking up something here. As a cameraman, Kelton pointing out that Crystal is happy to take top lane first pick, and I think it. I don't know if it necessarily is Crystal or just knowing these matchups here and saying. I mean, we talked about it before picks that maybe it's, we want Yorick. We want Yorick in the kill. That's fine. And Styra,
They got the
with this,
Seraphim, but Disc Zyra is pretty nasty too. That's something, definitely something to you can't ignore.
yeah, I'm hoping to get some wave clear potentially out of the side of the teal. Excuse me, of the side of teal Mustang gang here.
Mm.
As Zillion Band goes through in the second round, what are the odds that is a Zyra mid? I think that might be a pick. That
That's a good call. You're right. That is a Psy Hero champ. Is
that's a
Zyra.
Psy Hero pick, a classic Psy Hero
That's right.
pick. And flexed in the first round where you want to see it, where you can't quite tell where it's going to go. Ash deserving a
That was a
ban.
very fast Ash ban.
Absolutely after that first game. Crystal
Yeah.
and Arrows, I'd say they were about 70% hitting, which is pretty good on a Crystal and Arrow. But
Absolutely.
if Disc also never misses the charm, then everything's going pretty well for you at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
They hit. You're right. They hit 70% of the time, and they were 100% effective when they hit them. I mean, they were every time they either led to a kill or having making somebody back off an objective or something.
Yeah, so we won't get the encore from the Seraphine, of course, banned out in the first round, but we will get the Chain of Corruption from Varus. So still a similar CC team and 2v2 fight there, but great pick from Zoella Bear as they get Malzahar, maybe thinking that Zyra is not mid. I know Malzahar also a Psy hero pickup, but I think both of these are Malzahar players. So it will be Yorick versus Kale, Volibear into the Kindred, and we'll get to see the Malzahar Zyra matchup in the mid lane. Of course, Nami and Tristana rounding off the side of Thresh Me Gently, and Team Teal Mustang Gang with a Varus Thresh, a more classic bot lane. Any immediate advantages you see for any of these lanes here, Sean?
I feel like it was a little bit more. Well, actually, I don't know. I mean, I was kind of thinking the Thresh Me Gently side might have a little bit more, just a little bit more beef, a little bit more, the Nami bubble, um, and the volley. I don't know if he probably start with his E, I guess. I feel like you'd be able to get a little bit more oppression with that on that side. But that thresh shot can be tough. That with that mix combined with the Zyra route, that could make someone have a bad time too. So I think it'd be hard for me to say.
Yeah. Side of a Teal Mustang game here with that double, triple auto attackers in Kale, Kindred, and Varus.
Yeah.
The only thing they're missing, you have a Thresh, you don't have a true tank at this point.
Right.
You do have a lot of disengage though. And outside of pure disengage, you can use the zoning from a Zyra ult, the chain of corruptions, you have Flay, and you have an opportunity to stay alive in a Kindred ult. And with a Kale, it's Team Never Die. You have the opportunities to continue getting that damage over time out there, but you're doing it without a single, perfectly solid tank. So I'm looking for good spacing from TMG here to
Yeah.
pull off these fights.
I mean, I could see that for sure. As well, they're actually both TMG. I was confused for a
Oh
second there.
no. From all of TMG.
Yeah, they're the Thresh Me gang. So I could, you think of like closing the gaps too. I mean, the Yorick, the Volibear, the Tristana, like just the ability to kind of to close it, to move in. So there could be some zoning from the teal Mustang gang, but I can definitely see Thresh Me Gently being able to just make their move and get in, and especially early on. You get a Yorick wall, you get a volley stun, you get a Tristana jump, they can close the gaps and make some stuff happen with it. Before Kale hits 6 and 11 and 16 and all those things, before the Zyra ult comes up, before a lot of these these big impactful abilities are up.
Yeah, I think too, if you keep this game under 30, 35 minutes, such a big advantage to Thresh Me Gently, who has been counterpicked by their own namesake, Thresh
Nice.
appearing on not on Thresh Me Gently.
Yeah, absolutely. And and John brought up a good point in the chat about the Kindred needing to get marks, and Space Dandy is very aware of their jungle, and they're on it. I don't think they're going to be letting a lot of marks through if they do show up on their side, or on either team's side. Really, I think they'll be all over that. This is kind of where I was talking to last game, which we didn't really see a lot of, but the jump scares where you've got people kind of stacking up in the enemy jungle, and then Space Danny getting ahead with some kills and stopping marks from happening and things as well, especially when it's as predictable as the Kindred's going here or there.
Yep. Yeah. You are spot on, particularly with pushing the vision advantage. Thresh Me Gently last game, eventually they fell behind in total objectives with the neutral camps. But they were at one point up one dragon. And it was kind of a sneaky take from Aspen that rewarded the side of Teal Mustang Gang that initial grubbies, which I love sneaking grubbies. But
Absolutely.
they had very good vision control, did Thresh Me Gently initially into the game. And it wasn't until they started to scale that you saw Teal Mustang Gang kind of pushing that center line past the 50-50 point. So yeah, if we want to see this Kindred scale, you're gonna have to commit some of that vision. So look for potentially Disc leaving the bot lane a little bit earlier than last game, giving Aspen something to work off of to push in as a team. Same, Psy Hero has the opportunity to get you out of trouble sometimes. Not in the same way as Zillion, but with a lot of slows and roots. And I'm also excited to see the damage matchup between Moens and Psy Hero here. Is this typically I assume it's a Q max. It's a little damage trade onto Dandy here, mostly just vision. Is it a Q max for Psy Hero, or do we see the slow max like you'd see in some of the support lanes for a Zyra? I would
I can see it
assume a
going either
Q max.
way. I would think Q as well, just to be like, feeling like I know how they play, or I've seen them play enough. I would feel like the damage would be more sought after by him.
Yeah, especially with Moments getting the occasional spell shield for free.
Sure.
The inconsistency of the E, despite being such a great, and it will be, mark my words, this is the 1 minute and 16-second mark right now. The Zyra E will be very important around the 24-minute mark, but Max and Q most likely here, as again, not quite a 5-point, not a ton of vision expelled here from either team, but with Disc picking up vision on Space Dandy early, we'll just see what turns out to be a 5-point overall. As John says, maxing R on Zyra is the way to go. I don't level anything until I can max R, and then I go from there. That's good. Trades.
I do like to try playing with some different ability maxes, and I find I should just go tried and true sometimes. So, maxing R is not one I've tried without leveling anything else up.
And one thing that I'm noticing here is Goji Daddy getting Arcane Comment, also running TP Exhaust. So potentially looking to flip-flop the matchup from game one and run down third person in this top lane. That Exhaust going to offer quite a bit in the early game and late game into these fights.
I wonder if it's actually like almost the opposite. It's more for like a buffer. The being able to collect minions when the Kale's not letting you move forward with the E, and then being able to exhaust to get out if you need to. Still doing some damage with the comet and just kind of keeping yourself a little bit more safe where you're getting pushed back like this.
I think you're right. It's going to have to be right now. That fleet of footwork already kicking in for third person as we see Space Dandy lying in wait here on the red buff. Aspen doesn't know at this point. No vision to show it. Is going to go for a full clear on chickens here. Won't hit level 4 off the chickens, unfortunately, though, so it will be an even fight on the dragons, but more time wasted for Space Dandy, and we'll come back to that in a minute as Goji has finally healed back up here in the top lane, expending a little bit more mana.
I think it'll pay off.
Yeah, damage coming through. Windus volley goes early, getting the damage through E, flashed out by Aspen. Aspen running away here. Red buff on Space Dandy won't be enough to follow all the way, but probably net gain Space Dandy in damage and 3 buffing, which to me is the most important thing in the game, is whether or not you 3 buffed.
Yeah, not a big disadvantage for Space Dandy on minion count too. So only 4 behind right now. Now tied up with that red buff. So forcing the Kindred back, got the red buff, gonna go for that scuttle now because the mark's on it, I'm assuming. And then
and the mark.
Else. Yeah,
that's great.
It might have actually done more damage than we realized, especially with that mark.
Yeah, a little bit of RNG and the mark spawning on that scuttle.
Yeah.
But boy, does that pay off. Yeah, another game here with Space Dandy getting a slight advantage in the early game. Might not transition into ganks, but Kale might have to eat this. See a Nami bubble landing from Zarella. Perfect shot here. In goes Frosty, is ignited. Will have to back off momentarily. And nothing doing in that top gank as well. But it looks like Exhaust was not used by Goji Daddy, so we'll still have that as we eat 1 Q and an Arcane Comment. And lands the E after. Not a lot of manage here for Goji Daddy, but should be able to TP back maybe quickly here. And I would not be surprised if Space Dandy path top after clearing this blue.
I wouldn't be surprised either, especially because if you look at the Kindred, I mean, just now getting caught up on CS, I mean, they were looking around to see what they could catch up with, and they just now hit the 20 mark from clearing out their Krugs. Their camps are all kind of miss spawn, so we'll see what happens here. Volley goes.
Yeah.
Top looks like.
If I'm Space Dandy, I would assume that Kindred already has that mark, but
yeah.
You know what? It looks like the Balzahar is running down there to say, no mark for you. Goji coming in, third person very low, might not survive an E. Goji hits 6 and Space says, actually, I could land an E that half healths you from what you are at right now. Lying in wait they are.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no.
I don't think Third was even looking. They must have been looking at their menu or something.
A Volley Bear in their natural habitat. Stares down.
You know, back in my day, I never would have let a bear into the League of Legends. If you know the Zillion quote.
Well, you are talking about the team that was potentially going to be the backdoor Barons, too. So,
that's right.
As Sahiro hits that E, it's not the 24-minute mark, but look how important that E is. Sahiro able to walk away from the Volley Bear. Won't be able to do it post 6, though, when the ultimate becomes available. Mark going over to the Kindred finally in the bottom there, clears it up. Dragon not able to take at this point, but now the Mark is already kicking into Volibear's jungle. So Kindred will have to walk up here. Space Dandy is with a CS advantage, pulling an entire chicken camp advantage at this point, which just came from Scuttle and from Gromp. As, oh no, Tristana gets eaten by the hook. Frosty trying to make a play here. Will have to flash away. Zarella trying to get them out. Does not have mana at this point, but they're both able to walk away and nothing doing on the gank.
How's her coming in?
Oh no, fight continues.
That Sahiro E again. That connected as Mel's came in to see what they could do.
And this now showing off on 2 champions with skill shots, landing some hooks there to get that fight going. And maybe an overextension from Moens, but you know, could have, if they chose to dive, that might have been the right angle to walk to get free damage, free kill under tower. Fortunately, they turned around right on you.
Yeah, I think it was unfortunate timing.
Yeah. Almost kind of a repeat in the jungles of last game where we see Space Dandy getting ahead in CS and potentially gank pressure early, but Aspen looking for the objectives and has the team around them to take it when they're ready to do so.
Grubbies are up. Yeah, if I was gonna say, if I was York with Maiden up, I'd be looking at those grubs myself. Let volley clear that mark, and then
Play. Though there it is. We said disc rotating early might be important for this game. And she does so. Eats a bubble, though. Unfortunately, Zorella also answering the call here. Rotating for the Grubbies as the jungler. I'm jealous to see teammates roaming up for this. Landing the E is Goji Daddy, and a kill over to third person. And just like that, turning the game on its head, lose the dragon, but definitely going to get the Grubbies here, and there's no pressure anywhere else on the map as it's a 1v1 Frosty versus Calamity in the bot lane right now, as Frosty chooses to go in.
ooh. And then saving lives with that Tristana ult, but that was still really good damage really quickly. I don't think it was expected on the side of Calamity.
I don't think so either. I think she thought that was going to be an even trade, perhaps.
Yeah, absolutely. And I saw what third person was going for on top there, trying to pull him off of the grubs, and it seemed like it was going to work for a second, and then it just suddenly took a turn, and they were all able to kind of collapse down. We saw some flashes expended as well.
Yeah, don't quite have that pressure yet to just walk at the team. Give Kale a little while. Honestly, they've scaled to level 8 already, so almost 3 levels now separates them from level 2 ultimate and the upgrades.
Yeah, I was to say, Kindred just got a smite on that scuttle we were watching, where Volley were trying to take.
Mowed away the scuttle.
Scut.
Oh my goodness. That is big. In currently a 3-1 matchup. Huge to Aspen, who again in game 2 is answering the call of the wild, looking for the jungle camps at all times, securing the dragon, securing the grub there.
One of the things you mentioned earlier about Volley being in there, kind of trying to get marks and kind of blocks in this jungle. I mean, they're down in CS a little bit at this point. Nothing too bad, but they're still on their first level smite right now.
Yeah.
Aspen's on that second level of it, and was able to back sooner and get some more items, which I guess now they're kind of spun the direction. But
yeah, evened out now is damage coming through. Aspen maybe tries to get out but can't get away from the ult.
Volley ult, and I see what they're trying to get away from that E, is the Volley E, and couldn't quite skate it.
Oh, Sty Hero just barely getting out. Also in the mid lane, as the unseen Volley is the scariest, hiding in the bush. Honestly, third person kind of happy to farm under turret here, where Goji doesn't quite have the damage. Will kill the Maiden. Out in Space Dandy looks for some cheeky gank angle on the bot lane. Won't have ultimate here. Aspen sniffs it out without the vision. Disc hitting a flay over the wall. Might have the hook for this one. Might not need it as Aspen continues to slow. Zorella Bear hits the double bubble, though. Great disengage.
Yeah, that was impressive to watch. Just maneuvering that and getting out of there. So that we saw Leona with those dancing shoes, and we're seeing Nami with them as well. The dancing fin, I guess. I don't know, maybe a dance or something. Really a good job being able to kind of. We see Frosty just doing Frosty things, just being scary. Oh, with the bomb, gonna secure that one.
Yeah, Sai landing that E though. Moen's not having any mana here, but able to walk under turret. And honestly, for an 8-2 game, those neutral objectives makes this game feel pretty even overall.
Yeah, I agree. And I think even though it's a 6 kill difference, 3,000 gold difference, I think it seems closer than that. I feel.
Yeah, and it looks like Kindred's gonna push in for this mark here. Sees there's a blue available, knows that Volley might be coming or might be at Dragon, and doesn't have the vision, so probably assuming that Dragon will be giving away, but opting to move out of the jungle. As actually flip-flop here. Thresh Me Gently might have the advantage coming back on this dragon now.
Volley and Nami laying in wait again.
Yeah, slowly pushing in. Disc, of course, landing everything. Flay hook there on the inside with a spell shield put down for Aspen. Lantern is available. Nothing doing. Using the chickens to protect them on the way out. Zarella Bear, nice footwork.
But Calamity is just as dangerous. Just took down Space Dandy from full health to nothing really quickly.
Goji gonna try to put some pressure in the top lane. TP not available for either top laner, though it will come up for Goji in the next 30 seconds here. And a lot of pressure with no vision now from blue side. Space Dandy jumps in, but jumping into potentially 3 here will eat the box. Auto's coming down from Space Dandy, but all I want is my mark, so I don't even need to walk in at this point. I know what I'm here for. Little does Space Dandy know there's 4 in there. Frosty trying to answer on the front side as Frosty laying out the damage here. E goes down, jumps in with W. Moens maybe looking for the backside here, a flank, and a lot of damage coming through as Disc drops the last one to go down, and that turret, that's going to be Dragon secured.
And that was quite the turn there where we thought Space Dandy was going down, and honestly I thought Frosty was going to make it either with the little health he had and jumping into the middle of the fray there. Got one kill, saw that was gonna figure that would happen, but then didn't expect to clean up with another one and survive with that little health.
Oh man, all the vision for the side of Thresh Me Gently. You could see these red wards here pushed at the 50 mark, very far away from where the invade ended up being in the jungle. So just kind of missing all the damage coming through, and they trade back here and take Dragon. Dragons are knotted up, but still over a 5k gold lead here onto the side of Thresh Me Gently. Moens dive, duck, dodge, Disc. Finally I saw a miss from Disc today.
You and far between.
If you all season, I'm sure.
One of the times I'm glad I didn't have to play support this season.
lot of strong contenders here.
Maiden taken down.
Battle for Maiden. Zarella gets the disengage, hits 3 on there, and then triple bubble. Double last time, triple in this fight. We're looking for the quadra, but it looks like Teal Mustang Game have control over this Rift Herald. Not gonna see. Look at the zoning from the Zyra plants. And the hook. Disc, knowing we said they can't hit on the last time, goes in deep for 1. You know the rule. You hit it, you gotta take it. That's a save from Kindred. Keeps them alive long enough to pick up the Rift Herald. Great use of the ultimate. Single bubble from the Nami. A disengage. All in all, it's a 2-for-1. Advantage in kills to the side of Thresh Me Gently, but we're getting Teal Mustang Game with the advantage from the Rift Herald. They do stop the eye pickup, though, is correct.
Yeah, we're able to capture that. The gold lead's kind of staying the same. There's a lot of objective bounties they could be getting here too, though. So there's a lot of potential gold on the map here. A lot of bounties for kills. There's a lot they could still turn very quickly and make it not seem so lopsided.
And Dirk says no Shelly dance in this game for sure. And Kindred hitting the 5 mark at this point, getting an upgrade there. Damage, but maybe up to the kill here. Flying in as Frosty will eat the hook, says maybe that's okay. Going a little wide on the bubble, but will hit the tidal wave. Zarella Bear, and Frosty's going to pick up a kill, and now you have to worry about Frosty's damage too. Frosty up 2 levels now over Shades. But
that was a surprise, coming out of nowhere, out of the bush, and just come flying in. It's always exciting to see, but even more so to see them be able to follow up almost under a turret and secure the kill.
I think you're 100% right on the bounty pickups too, though. Third person continuing to scale into the 12 mark on levels, and now with a lot of kill bounties available, Third person gonna have to fight off Space Dandy here. Might have the damage. Moen's looking to come in with the ultimate. Will have it. No flash available, so third person walks away here, back to farming. But you have to be worried about this ticking time bomb that is third person in the top lane.
Yeah, I think they're probably gonna try to hold this on as soon as they possibly can.
OG flipping sides. Shade says, I see your kill in the mid lane and I trade you one down here in the bot lane. As Psy Hero tries to limp out, does hit the ultimate and the stun. Is that the 24-minute mark with the E? No, we're 6 minutes off.
First one was 6 minutes and 24 seconds. This one was probably about
plus this one.
Yeah, 18 and 6 here's for 24. So there's some 24s in there. So
there's some numerology happening. Space Dandy, great flash to get out. Yeah.
Yeah, that we also saw that death for York was their first. That was a bounty collected right there.
Yeah, 2 more on the board at this point.
Bringing the gold lead from 4,000 to 3,000.
And look at the vision control too. We're seeing Teal Mustang Gang pushing in the wards again. Remember, they lost. They went a little too deep when the wards weren't quite past the 50 mark. Couldn't get it south of the border, but now they have it as a double ultimate hit. Psy Hero is going to drop to Frosty, who's going to flash away. Does have the reset on W still available. If the tidal wave can land on anything, could look to go back end. Space Dandy wants some more out of this fight, but wisely opting to run towards the south side. Hooked in is Dis. No mana, but still landing things here. The fight slowly continues, but wisely going our separate ways are both teams.
Dis doesn't need mana. They just will things to connect, and they end up happening. So. Oh, the heal. That heal from the Q is life saving. Obviously, that was great.
Massive. The exhaust paying off in the end. They're staying out of range from the autos despite the E. Third person with no Q available goes for the risky play underneath, and Sejuani can't save you now. Goji turns around and takes a turret.
That's right. I think the all got popped just to save third person for sure, and Go just waited out really expertly, but can't survive those plants.
Yeah, that's a tough one there again. Another E landing, not quite the 24 still. And yeah, we see the gold differential dropping below 4K now. So every couple of minutes we see it drop by 1,000. As a dragon number 2 taken over to the side of Thresh Me Gently, and we see Space Dandy now going for those major objectives as Frosty Pang was jumping in, knows the kick is there. They're able to kick back. Calamity Shades double jump, gonna die to that one. Nowhere to go.
That's gonna be the focus, is that Frosty. They're gonna need some vision because they're jumping over every wall. It's like watching Zach with a gun. It's pretty scary here.
Yeah, this is Insect Tristana is what I was thinking too. Insect Tristana with a buster shot rather than a kick. I think I called it kick in that fight too, because that's what it looked like. It was wild. And maybe we'll see Matt Life here with a hook.
Oh, that's one.
Walking in.
No vision in that jungle with River Bush.
Yeah, we'll save themselves. Oh, it gets a lantern out! It is
great,
Matt Life, but with a lantern. All the pros are showing up for this Crystal Invitational as a trade may be in there, but this survives. Matt Life walks around with the Livik just a moment longer. It's too exciting, Sean. It's too exciting.
I had to stop and take everything in for a second. Yeah, that was a well done on side right there. Aspen staying around, probably trying to see if they can sneak that mark.
Holy moly, the lantern. I feel like I took a random colored pill from the gas station, if you know what I'm saying. This is getting wild.
Absolutely. Yeah, we don't condone trucker speed, but those gas stations sure do sell them.
Just like the lantern, they're there for you when you need them. And we stay pretty even. Again, that gold lead slowly whittling down. Now we're about 3K at this point. Turrets still advantage. Well, we're pretty even now on turrets at this point. Mid lanes are both looking pretty soft for turrets. Will we see a team group up? We've seen a lot of mid lane fighting, but now we have Otacon available on the bot lane, and we have pressure being applied from third person special coming out now as they're approaching level 16, 14 now. Ultimate almost available, and you have to commit double TP comes into the top lane to stop that push. Nothing available on the map though, so nothing really hurt for the 2 TPs.
Now I think other than the losing the ability just to hang on to him, Disc hook hits again.
Yeah, Disc, but maybe a distraction Disc wasn't ready for. They just hop right up over you and take out your carry. Great hook from Disc, but a heads up play from Frosty to go right past, and that could be the mid lane turret. Aspen and Disc gonna try to hold this down, but way too much damage from Frosty. They immediately turn on Disc. Screen turns gray. Aspen gonna try to survive a little bit longer. Buster shot out. Kelton called it, but doesn't get the damage. Oh, Kale ulted for the save. So good. We love to see a Buster shot out of the Kindred ultimate for the kill. And Goji turning around to get the bounty in the top lane.
I think Frost at this point is knowing how accurate Disc is with stuns and hooks and everything. I think they're probably just waiting for them to hook somebody and then just going the opposite direction, going for Calamity in this case.
Yeah, it's reminiscent of game 1 where we saw Frosty playing a little bit on the front line with the Kog'Maw, except you can get away with that with a Tristana. You can walk right in, get a pick, and jump away. And speaking of jump away, third person is going to have to flash away from this fight with Goji Daddy. Has Maiden, but must have snuffed out Disc running over. Decides to turn on to third person. Has the exhaust available. It comes out here. Third person getting the speed move. Going to run away, but gets tagged up by the Maiden now coming in. Little ones are doing some damage, and the Grave Tender himself puts 1 6 feet under as Disc never misses and gets the lantern in as well.
Yeah, 4-on-1 at the top. Not going to work out. I think that was really smart of Goji there. Try to take advantage of the Cal turn on before they can hit 16.
Yeah,
that's probably the last chance to do it.
Yeah, but turn around 2 turrets in the mid here, and I agree. Goji Daddy maybe sniffing out that the gank was coming in the top lane and said, you know what, I can just sneak into the face of third person and try to pick up a kill. But what a turnaround 2 from Disc as the 1-to-1 eventually nets 2 turrets to Frosty and the side of Thresh Me Gently. And a dragon.
We're looking at a big gold lead now too. We're looking at, over 6,500 at this point. So it's starting to kind of, starting to not starting good, snowballing.
Yeah, we're seeing the snowball here as Aspen Moth trying to get away from Frosty. Frosty gets a second jump here. Ultimate comes out. Space Dandy says, nope, you can't stand there with a Buster shot again out of the ultimate, and our cameraman is happy. That might have actually been a cue from Kindred jumping out of there. But Buster shot's on cooldown. I think that was the combo.
I think it was the Buster. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, look at the little loft that you get when you get hit by that thing is what I thought I saw.
And a flash from Calamity. Gonna have to run from Goji Daddy, who is 2 levels up. Goji Daddy putting the Maiden down, saying, I'm gonna split regardless, as Baron peeks his little head up and becomes a potential objective. I like sending third person to the top lane to cover now. Split push pressure, but also has TP available. But Goji has TP to match here momentarily.
Yeah, still a lot of shutdown in gold. A lot of potential for excuse me, for Teal Mustang gang to collect on, but they're gonna have to start playing for picks. I think trying to take Frosty out somehow if they want to make any impact.
Yeah, the 2 committed to bot lane again, as we see Space Dandy running down towards third person. So the game plan is let's kill third person and deal with the rest of the team later. Third person ultimate here might take down Mo and says, I'll get one on the back end, but gives the kill again over to Goji Daddy, who is hoarding the gold now. And probably rightfully so, does have the TP to match anything in this fight.
Oh, that's the hook.
We see it again. Dis does not miss, but Frosty says, I'm going to ignore you.
I was thinking that I didn't know if overcommitting to the Kale was the right thing, especially with there was 3 in the bot at one point. But it seems like they're making it work.
Yeah, I think they felt there was nothing to lose. And
Yeah.
again, despite the vision control coming out from the side of Teal Mustang game, you can see multiple 3, if not 4 red wards kind of on that bot side. You know, they don't have the control to contest this Baron at this point, and as the crowd would call them, the backdoor Barons take this one away in darkness.
Absolutely. And if you look at, I mean, the vision scores are actually a lot closer than they have been. You know, especially they were last game too. Still up a little bit for the Teal Mustang game, but not like we've been seeing in the past.
Welcome, PC Ronan, friend of Danny here, cheering for Danny. Danny is in this game on the Volibear, hitting level 14 now, out-leveling the Kindred at this point, though. A lot of marks over to Kindred. I would guess they're pushing past 10, somewhere between 7 and 15. We'll try to narrow that down. And we see a lot of items out for both teams. Of course, we still see bounties on the Tristana and the Nami, so a lot of gold sitting there. But Goji converted on bounty on the turret. It looked like, and also a kill in the bot lane onto the Kale, so also probably with quite a bit of gold, despite Kale having a 234 CS right now, approaching the 30-minute mark. A slow push in for blue side. We are a bit off of any objective at this point. Dragon just hitting the 1-minute mark. So I expect to see a continual push in from blue side here, although one of the TMGs has an opportunity to start the fight here. Goji Daddy going to have to look for the disengage. His ultimate from Psy Hero hits. Third person is there. Not a fight you want to take if third person is around, because they are level 17 at this point on the Kale. They are online now.
Taking on the minion, so you're just gonna have to play a little safer now.
And no tabbies coming out from blue side here. So not too worried about the auto attack damage, despite having 3 characters who can auto you at this point. Trying to hunt down their third item, as Calamity Shades will have the opportunity to eat a couple waves here. Third person walking in has the ultimate available, but eats the stun from Moens. Moens says no thank you to the Kale. And a hard push now, a flip-flop from game 1, as we see tons of pressure, opting, 3 inhibs are down, opting to walk in. Half the team goes in, half the team pings Dragon. So a little bit of a split decision here, and they'll take down 2 turrets, but now the full team comes in here. Thresh Me Gently looking to end this game here. Kill maybe over to Aspenmouth. This for sure goes down. Aspen goes and follows, and ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a 1-1 matchup.
Yeah, that was an exciting game. So this would be a really big match here.
That was a absolutely wild turnaround in game 2, and we get to see it again. Explosion! There it is.
Now I think we should be watching her that hook.
8 marks. Okay, 8 marks for the Kindred there. So eventually shut down the pressure from the Volibear. Finally, we see the level advantage finally leading up to winning that game. And, you know, if there's anything I want to see, it's a game 3. And just like Faye says, TMG will win game 3. There's one thing I can guarantee you, and it's that.
That is true. As we've uncovered, they are both TMG. So they got it. Go TMG. I can say that as a caster because I have it doesn't matter who wins.
Unbiased opinion, we saw a big turnaround from uh, Goji Daddy from game one, despite the Kale getting up to level 17. Didn't quite have the time to put in that advantage moving forward. Goji Daddy doing a great job with the split push, but my lean towards MVP in this one is probably Frosty down in the bot lane.
Yeah, I would agree for sure. That the plays they made, the kills they got, the things they secured just by coming out of nowhere was I think what made a lot of this happen.
Well, we'll bring Frosty on up
Oh,
here to join the stream then. Frosty Penguins, welcome to the caster booth.
Hello, hello.
what's up,
Sorry
guys?
to sorry to drag you in there away from your team. But quite a turnaround from your team there. Thresh Me Gently really turning it on in game two. How'd you feel post game?
No, it felt really, really good. Like we definitely had a rough first game, but we decided to shift a few priorities, and we did it. We did it as a team, and it went well.
So good. We got to see the Kog'Maw in game one. Of course, Kog'Maw always putting out a lot of damage, even post mortem there with your passive, still a lot of damage coming through. But you kind of flipped the script in game two and went with this all in Tristana. What made you decide to flip from a more passive Kog'Maw pick to the Tristana pick?
Well, so our biggest thing is, well, we know that Twitch is never going to get through, and we needed to focus on different priorities on bans. And I know Shades likes Triss, so we needed to take that away from her. So I went ahead and did that, and it worked out well.
At the 2-for-1, then if you can get it, that's always great. And you guys are pushing this to a decisive game three. Are there any strategies we need to know? Now's your time to give it away to the crowd. What do we need to know about game three?
I don't know. They're choosing blue side, so I know there's a few priority bans that we have to do. But we'll see. I mean, I'm hoping to kind of even out like the damage. Like our biggest mistake the first game was just me being damaged. But we kind of spread it out, and hopefully we can do that again.
Nice. And of course, our lovely representative from the ARAM League for CMSA. How's the season going? What do you want to tell the people as far as our ARAM League?
Well, ARAM is really fun. Like tomorrow's our last game for the season, and it'll pick back up again towards the end of July when the season comes up again for regular games on Tuesdays.
So exciting! Nice to have so many options. If Summoner's Rift isn't your place to go, but I'm excited to see you back out there. Sean, you got anything before Frosty before we let him go back to the team?
Yeah, you're terrifying, and I don't want to ever give you Tristana again. And I was saying they were calling you what Bug Tristana. I was saying you were like Zach with a shotgun. So it's something. It's a new respect I have for Tristana in general. But yeah, it was impressive to see, and it was kind of satisfying just to see a little bit too, just the way some of those things went down.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
100%. I think Kelton called you Insec, the
That's what I
Tristana
said.
Insec at one point. So it's so
Maybe I'll
nice
have to
having
pick
you.
up a new game, a new main.
That's it. Any last word for the fans here, Frosty?
No, I mean we're gonna
going
have
into
a great game three, and hopefully we'll take the win.
Beautiful. All right. Well, we'll send you back. Thanks for coming on with us, Frosty. And for everybody still here, we're going to take a quick break as we move into a decisive game three, but stay with us here as we finish out. We enter the conclusion of season 17 Crystal Invitational in a current 1-1 between Thresh Me Gently and Teal Mustang Gang. We'll see you back here in just a little bit.
That's right, Gunny.
Welcome back, everybody, to Season 17 Crystal Invitationals. We are at a decisive game 3 here between our two teams, Thresh Me Gently and Teal Mustang Gang. Like we said earlier, one of the TMGs will come away the victor, but I think everybody's a winner here, right, Sean?
Absolutely, Gunny. What's TMG and TMG, and I think we're all here for some good old silver scrapes with this 1-to-1 matchup here. If you were listening in the stream, you got to hear it. I saw the excitement coming through, so I'm ready for it. They're ready for it. Hopefully, you're all ready for it too.
Oh, it's TMC. Oh, it's the club? Are they the Teal Mustang Club? Is that what I'm hearing? Oh, we can't spell
No,
here. That's not what's important. Not in the
I
month of
think
June. Come on. We're here to have some fun with both of our teams. They're not a gang, they're a club. That's what I'm hearing. But we're
I
gonna
don't
get
know.
into some awesome, awesome game 3 action here as we've seen a lot of good team fighting. Shout out to Mithra gifting that tier 1 sub to Zarella Bear. Zarella Bear in the game right now as we prep for game 3. And honestly, I don't know. Picks and bans are so tough when you get to these decisive game 3s. Everything's on the line.
I wonder if they're going to go back to what they, the tried and true, the original bands, kind of the same thing. I mean, one thing I noticed last game is not a single champion from the first game made it into game two. It's completely different team, completely different game, and completely different outcomes. So do you try to force the same kind of bans for either team, or try to go a different direction, or throw it out the window and just shoot from the hip and see what happens?
Yeah, it was almost like a fearless draft at that point.
Yeah,
Getting to see two very different games. I love the counterplay, the mind games that go on. That's one thing. If you aren't in uh, one of our leagues week to week, you don't totally know the mind games that go on with pick ban, first ban, last ban, because a lot of these players do have decisive champion pools. And if you get that one champion, irregardless of the team comp, sometimes you can steamroll through one lane. Uh, so these players know each other very, very well after playing 8 weeks together in season 17 and potentially, oodles of times off stream. So if you're interested in playing games, making some friends, getting out there onto the Rift, or playing some ARAM or anything else, come join us, cmsaesports.com. Check us out. Get in the Discord. We'll play some games together. It's been fun for me. And Sean, you've been here for a couple years now too, yeah?
yeah. I think I'm going on I mean, I don't know, 5 or 6 years or something at this point, and it's funny. I kind of come in and join, and my friends list is only CMSA people at this point now. So, yeah, I've had a lot of fun. Everyone's just super cool to play with, and just the vibe check is there, and everyone has a really good time and a lot of fun. And even when people get frustrated, it's kind of like a fun frustration. It's nobody's really upset about anything, and everyone has a really good time, and there's a lot of respect and a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. So yeah, I'll probably be back next year as well, next season as well. And sorry, that probably was for the ARAM League. Come back for that one again, but I'm coming back for season 17 or 18 as well.
Oh, that's so exciting here. Like I said, we have a couple new faces making it into the invitationals. Again, these are the people that were chosen from everybody in Crystal League. So these are not necessarily we're looking for, we don't. It's about having fun. So we don't need
Absolutely.
necessarily the best matchup in every lane or the strongest players always, although these are some great competitors we have in here. This is who you wanted to see in these matchups. And it's just such a fun way to finish off the season with these invitationals.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like teams maybe ready to start rolling here. So we'll hopefully see some action soon. I'm foreseeing a Yorick ban. I don't know about you.
I think so too. And I loved how we were ready to adapt in the last game. We saw, okay, let's leave Kale up. We can manage it, which turned out to be true. Not only do we leave Kale up, we're going to turn around and ban Nasus so we don't have to deal with this counter in the top lane. And then turn around Yorick, let me throw exhaust in there so I'm basically a walking Nasus. It's so exciting to see it play out just in pick ban when again everybody knows each other so well after playing a whole season together.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I still I'm watching the disc plays here. Just the hooks were so good. The stuns were so good. The Psy Hero 24-minute E was so good. All these things here, but I'm wondering if they're going to look to keep some of those stuns and roots out as much as they can. But I mean, really, with disc, how do you stop all the stuns and all the hooks that they have available to them?
Yeah. Yeah, the chat popping off now, people who play in the league understand that you have to keep a running ledger of some of these important champions. So Disc on Seraphine, we see Psy Hero getting the Lissandra ban after game one. I don't think we'll ever get to see Frosty play Twitch in one of these games, but so many
Right.
people in our league have these signature characters that, like we said, could break a game open at
Yeah.
any point if you let it get through.
Absolutely. Gunny, do you have anyone like that you don't get to play anymore? I'm just kidding.
No,
We all
no,
know we all know
there's nobody,
that.
nobody worth banning, uh, like Master Yi at all. Sean,
Yeah.
what's your go-to in the league these days?
Since I've been playing top, it's my go-to is Yorick. So it was always kind of a fun battle between me and Goji when we were playing against each other to see who was going to end up getting Yorick first or banning the Yorick first. Um, yeah, there's the Yorick ban. As
And
we were
York
talking
won't,
about it.
yeah, won't be
Yeah.
played here.
And then when I played support, so last couple seasons, I got the support role, and it was usually a Zillion or a Vel'Koz ban every time.
Oh man, we'll have to have somebody in the chat here check the table for the matchups and see where you rank between our current invitational players third person and Goji for the top lane matchup. Such a cool thing. If you haven't been onto CMSA's website, give a shout out to Vibros on the back end getting this amazing website up and running for us that holds all of our stats on there. If you played with CMSA back in the day, we used to run draft on a Excel spreadsheet every week, and we've grown up so much. Shout outs to again Kung Pao behind the cameras today, getting things done for us. This couldn't be done without the help of everybody behind the scenes and the whole infrastructure behind CMSA Esports. It's awesome to get the opportunity to get everybody together as we see the Crystal and the Pearly Girly, Lux banned out, and of course Seraphine, but daring the Kale pick again.
And the Twitch. The Twitch is left
Yeah,
up too. They got yeah, they saw that coming. The Twitch channel's
but
gone, but the Twitch is up.
And this is the Twitch takeaway. They said, okay, we've got first pick. We'll leave you the Twitch. We'll make you think you're going to play it, Frosty, and then I'm going to take it away from me.
Yeah.
And assuming that's Twitch bot lane, but you never know. Maybe it's a Twitch jungle.
Yeah.
As another Nami coming through, those Nami bubbles in the last game looking so delicious.
Yeah, this really was on point with those for sure. The
Both
triple
supports.
double and triple levels. Oh yeah, absolutely. But with that Nami specifically.
Yeah, a lot of range CC opportunities between Nami, slow, knock up, another knock up. It's such a great pick these days, and they'll get the Zaya to buff. We go over to the Teal Mustang Club.
Is it club?
I'm being told they want to be not called the gang.
Oh, they want to be the
know,
club. Oh, I see. Okay. So
It's a club. We just all ride motorcycles and hang out at the same bar, but it's a club. And the Mel pickup here again, flex pick available. Lilia, didn't we say Lilia could be a potential pick outside of the jungle? Or is this an Aspen pick?
That could be a top. I mean, I don't know. It could be. I'd say either. I mean, it could be third person doing that just to throw them off a little bit, throw them off the trail.
Yeah, with Kale available, I mean, it's
wasting.
Hard to think.
That's true, but they probably. That's a good point. I don't know why they wouldn't have picked up the Kale then, unless they were trying to get him to waste bans.
Our community leader John has told us Aspen has been playing Lilia jungle. So let's assume, and this is a lot of AP damage. I'm hoping to get a little bit of tankiness coming out from Disc in this game. If not the Thresh, maybe something even tankier than that, the Maokai, the Alistar. But I don't think that's Disc style necessarily, as Volibear won't be seen in Game 3. And other than Nami, this is a fresh set of picks again, is it not?
It really is. Yeah, absolutely. I'm also kind of surprised that we're not seeing Zillion again.
No, Mordekaiser top flex pick.
All new. All right, so this is an exciting matchup.
Yeah, Mordekaiser very safe into a lot of picks that could be top. Again, Zaya the only one with AD right now, as the Urgot does go through. Okay, safe pick for third person again in the top lane. Mordekaiser into Urgot is a little bit of a skill matchup. Is that not edge to Mordekaiser though?
I feel like it would be just to chase down and just the constant damage and then the healing and everything. So it seems like it would be.
Yeah, it's important to start fights early and get that shield off early to avoid the passive from the ultimate killing you with their guy.
right. Tom Kench, okay.
Interesting. So Mordekaiser jungle, perhaps. Tom Kench top. Tom Kench, a very scary pick and a much beefier frontline overall from the side of Thresh Me Gently. But this is the most tanks I've seen in any of these three games.
Yeah, and I'm curious with the Braum pick as well. I think it adds a little bit more tank to it, but for just solely for the Zaya, it seems.
Yeah, it's really just for the Zaya. I guess Aurelion Soul Q for the initial, but after that, you're
just cooking.
You are, and standing still most likely.
That's right. Yeah.
But I never count out a Mel. That passive damage seems so unpredictable to me. I never know when to use the ultimate. I know when I play against a Mel, I'm dead.
Yeah, when things start being like twinkly or something, you hit the ultimate. I don't know. Then you spam the shield whenever that's up. Something. Usually I just die as a Mel.
It's hard to tell because my screen is usually like this gray tint most of the game. It never gets sparkly. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah. Well, actually, to back to like the point about like the Braum for Zaya, like the Mel for, I guess the Nami bubble, the Zaya, but that's kind of it for projectiles, right? I guess like, can you use the shield on the on Aurelion Soul alt? I don't think it's considered a projectile, is it?
Uh, I don't think so. I don't think there's a ton of block here. There's this Twitch, not exactly the true front to back AD carry, not the traditional one, more of kind of the pick and play. And, there's a lot of damage available from Teal Mustang Gang on blue side here. Urgot scales to be a bully, Lilia getting ahead, Mel getting ahead, Twitch appearing out of nowhere. There's a lot of damage they can put down. I think the go button for them uh, is a little bit harder to convert on. I think this team relies on getting that catch, but if they get it, they could steamroll very easily. Where it seems like Thresh Me Gently has picked a little bit more of a forgiving Aurelion Soul scale. Tom Kench's equivalent to your Zillion get out of jail free card, and Mordekaiser can potentially just put Twitch put baby in the corner with Twitch, and keep that damage from coming through on everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think objectives as well, just being able just ulting the Lily and getting her out of the position to grab anything, to smite anything. Yeah, there's some interesting plays that could happen here. I'm curious to see if they're going to use the if Thresh Me Gently is going to use their team to try to use, kind of like you're saying, the go button, try to use that stuff. It's their advantage. Like if they do use the Ace Hole to kind of rush in, they use Time Crunch to come in the Nami wave. It feels like that's what worked really well for them last game, is being able to make the fights happen. Especially, I mean, obviously, especially with like the Tristana, but be curious to see how much they try to force those fights by pressing go.
Both teams ready and rearing to go. As we slowly get loaded into this game here, skin wise. Again, Team Foreskin. Disc regular Braum. Mastery's potential advantage to the side of Thresh Me Gently on just straight masteries. But yeah, I think damage overall going to Teal Mustang game. Club, sorry, of course, Club.
Yeah.
Teal Mustang Club. Thresh Me Gently with a much a safer style, but still a lot of damage overall, particularly with a scaling dragon on your team. I'm excited to see where these fights come in. It's almost an inverse of what their team comps have been, where Teal Mustang Gang have been kind of slowly taking objectives over time and scaling, but right now they've picked the team that needs to get ahead early and needs to, get strong into this mid game if they're going to survive. Because you let Goji scale up, you let Moen scale up, you let Space Danny scale up, it's going to get scary.
Yeah, that's right.
Fights for a ward. And I think that's 5 gold advantage over to the side of the Braum.
I think so, yeah.
A commanding lead.
Yeah, there it is. All right. So we'll see if they can close that gold lead there soon.
Minions has spawned.
Yeah, the other thing you got to think about too is if Aspen is going to be kind of the traditional Lilia tank killer, it might help to kind of cut down on Goji. It might help to cut down on Space Dandy a little bit if they end up going a little tanky. So it could be something that kind of helps to counter some of that tankiness there. It's still scary with Moens just flying at your face though. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, a fast deer is a scary deer. Let's see if she can
true.
get there. Yeah, the opportunity, you're 100% right. The opportunity to cut down, even third person, picking up a black cleaver somewhat early could be good.
Yeah.
Those team fights, they do have angles to get in there. But I do think front to back will be pretty tough for them in the late game. But boy, have we seen so many different, we've seen 4v4s and 3v1s and 2v6s tonight. There's no way of telling what kind of fight you're going to see
That's true. Well, no pets, with the maiden or anything on this one. But what I am really excited for is the quadra bubble from Nami this game. I'm looking to see if we can make that happen.
We saw the double, we saw the triple. I think we saw all 5 get hit between the tidal wave and the bubble last game.
Sure.
So that's a good wombo combo.
Yeah.
But junglers on same clears, top to bottom to top here, but way ahead is the Mordekaiser in this early clear. And third person continuing to put that pressure forward. This is what Urgot does to you early. Put down a ton of damage, and the PTA to go with it makes total sense. Classic third person pressure will eat a turret shot here. But across the board, we are even as we have an early back from Moen's mid lane. Has TP available. If they use it, they might not even have to catch this wave. But they are down 10 CS in the early game as Mel pushes forward with some insane early game pressure.
Yeah, I think the Mel might be one of the game changers here. I think just the damage that the up is going to be one of the things to really look out for. And this getting taken down. Nope, okay, makes it out.
Oh, a lot of damage to third person. Does turn around and gets the kill. Can't find a way out though.
Yeah, use the flash, kept it safe, and one of my favorite things to do is to usually ineffectively just to dash back towards the enemy where they're not expecting you to try to run away from to see if I can make anything happen. This worked out really well for him. He got 1-for-1 with the gank up top.
Yes, double buffs do get transferred over to the Tom Kent, so potentially that early lead we saw from Urgot might get closed just a little bit. But to bring attention to what you were saying a second ago, the Mel Alawi combo, particularly if if our dear friend here, our dear little friend in the jungle, ends up with Leandries, that adds even more potential for Mel to hit a passive rung ultimate as somebody ticks down later. So even if they don't necessarily get the kill in an immediate trade, we might see some fadeaway kills from the Mel as she still sits at an 8-9 CS lead in the mid lane.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I mean, and to mirror John in the chat, we're not going to see the quadra bubble from Nami because we're going to see it from Mel as she counters it.
As a reflection. Terrifying.
Yep.
And all in all,
CS lead coming up on the TMC side here. So we'll see how that pans out a little bit.
Space Dandy feeling pretty good on that crab. But will be spotted out. Doesn't have vision behind this Dargon here. An opportunity to steal available as I believe Lilia's going to run there. Probably not going to get there in time. Braum not necessarily willing to check right now. And Mel, comfortable sitting mid lane, gets spotted as walking over. That looks like an early dragon take. Nice movement. Yeah, the Thresh Me Gently bot lane committing Zarella Bear, now out of mana, but well worthwhile to pick up that early Drake at just about the 6-minute mark.
Absolutely, didn't really lose a lot for it. I see the Lilia kind of coming in the jungle looking for him, and Space Dandy's still a little over half health, so it wasn't like he's about to die.
Yeah, Frosty was posturing pretty far forward on that side actually with little mana, but after Frosty's pop off on that Tristana last game, I'd be a little afraid to walk up on them right now.
Yeah,
Flashbacks.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely some PTSD there, and especially when you give somebody their main person they've been banned the entire season. The ult from third person.
Third person wisely looking for that leg proc, but won't get it.
Yeah, try to close the gap and get the shotgun knees off there, and didn't let it happen. But yeah, if you give someone that switch, and I'd be afraid too. I'd be worried because it's similar to Tristana jumping out of a bush. You got Twitch coming out of right next to you, so Yeah, kind of have to be worried about everything.
Surprise!
Yeah, exactly.
And we're seeing 6s hit across the board here, even level 7s in third person and Psy Hero. It's a level advantage in general, but blindly sneaking into a very low third person here. Will we see the gank? There is a ward there. Space Dandy trying to walk in, going to try to land the E here. We have Flash not available for third person. Wisely walking to the corner. E's early. Will eat the E. Tom Catch can't quite get in there. Gets one lick of tongue down, but not enough.
Yeah, that Tom Kench tongue is always a lot longer than I realized. Got the hit off, and I almost felt that hesitation, like they wanted to try to pursue it, but knew better. Because the Lily matches the top too.
Derek pointing out some of the good tech on Urgot. Your legs, basically your W procs count as 1/3 of an auto, and you can get slightly more range out of that auto attack. So try to buffer your last auto if you're getting out of range. You want the full, the auto range is the same, but you get more damage out of a regular auto attack.
Dr. Fox is calling it the crazy Tom Kench tongue action in the chat. I mean, it's like watching an episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Where we started streaming on a different platform all of a sudden. And I think this is the first time tonight we've seen the first 2 objectives fall for the same team here. Thrush Me Gently gets Grubbies to go after picking up the first dragon, and Frosty ends up paying for it. But you know, across the map, I love seeing our Crystal players committing those supports to go up and contest these major objectives. So you know, 2 different philosophies here: keep the support bot and get a kill, rotate the support up and get an objective.
Yeah, roaming has been a really big thing I've found in the Crystal League this season. There's been a lot of movement and a lot of focus on different objectives, especially that. That was a good grab there for the third person.
Yeah, great cancel from third person. I think that's where Dirk is talking about right there. As you get the last W proc, turn off your W, take 1 more auto with your Urgot, and then you get basically 3 times the damage you would from the leg proc. Yeah. Same when you're taking turrets. You're supposed to take 3 shots from the leg and then buffer your auto with it.
Urgot's one of those champions where I did really well with him in ARAM, and then I was like, oh, I can do this, and then just got dumpstered in Rips.
He's pretty fun.
Yeah.
And it looks like we're seeing an item advantage pushed for in the bot lane. As Space Dandy retreating to this tower here, taking a lot of damage. Dismiss nothing as a Drowsy comes through. Dandy sleeping on the job here, taking a lot of damage. Might get Aspen caught out here. Aspen taking the damage from Frosty. Frosty says, I could take you down, as Moen's also coming in to claim the feet in the bot lane.
Well, that was something else. It looked like feeds were going to TMC. With a 2-1 lead. So now we've got feats to Thirst Me Gently. We've got 1 dragon over there. We've got Grubbies over there. We're 1 objective away from Boots.
Yeah, just like that. Yeah, double objectives and claim the feat there. They're pushing down. Yeah, 2 different ways to get Boots at this point. This is big advantage as Dragon spawns and Space Dandy's headed there.
My thought would be this the objective versus the turret. But Lily's coming to fight it, so they're aware.
I would think so too. Always. And Urgot getting the back also won't have teleport, but can meet before Goji as the fight breaks out. Great knockup from Disc there. Jumping away as Frosty won't have the flash to get away. Does get the stun on Calamity, so Calamity not going to be able to put down damage for a little while. Meanwhile, Moen's pumping out the Dragon's Breath, flying away on the backside. Zorella Bear having to retreat as Space Dandy picks up the kill. That's support down on one side, but 80 carry down on the other. So Space Dandy forced to retreat and maybe having to give it this Dragon, although they do have the overall game advantage to maybe give up this one. As Goji pushing down that top lane, and it is a decisive give of Dragon, which I also like to see. Nobody wasting their life just running in for that one.
Absolutely. Anybody who's playing with me knows I will throw my life away sometimes. So yeah, it's nice to see people don't do that. So lots,
Goji
3
gets
plates.
plates. Yeah, that's big.
Not a free
Pushes the
trade.
gold lead. And now's the downtime. This is where games are made.
Well, disc roaming top, like we were talking about up there with Urgot for a moment. Tom Finch does not have teleport up right now either, so that's a slow walk back while you got two pushing top to see if they can get that turret before Tom Finch can.
Yeah, Shades with a little catch-up leveling to do here will get the solo lane for a little bit. So as long as they can stay alive here, this might be worthwhile as damage going into the top turret for Urgot. And Shades farming very safely under this turret. So yeah, a true philosophy, roaming jungler versus the stay-home jungler. It's a tale of two cities. Yeah, flashes for the damage, gets the kill, gets the flea afterwards. Will they have damage on Goji? I don't think so. E comes through from the lick-a-tongue, still whacking away. And dive available. Moen says, I want to stop this.
Yeah, and this is where we'll start to see those big brilliant soul plays coming through.
Yeah,
Swimming
great
through a
roam.
wall. Yeah, absolutely.
Great roam from Moens. Yeah, that could have been very scary for Goji as they were posturing for a 4-man dive in the top lane. Moen turns the tide a little bit for the 1-to-1 and stays here. Honestly, slight advantage to the side of Moens and Goji Daddy if a fight can break out here. Although down by 1 level in the matchup, third person is not completely healthy and down ultimate at this point.
But you know, nothing for the Nell to shield there either. I don't think.
Yeah, they're staying aggressive in that top lane. Tomcat's going to try to push him off as we see one chicken there. Goji's deep in that jungle, unseen. Will blast plant over as Goji survives for now, and Space Dandy walks out after cleaning Lilia's jungle with a continued, again, we're seeing great vision control from Thresh Me Gently. That's been so consistent from them across these 3 games tonight.
Absolutely. Even with Goji not even having any wards down, there's still vision top that it seems like they're vision bottom is kind of keeping everyone under control. They can tell where everyone's coming from.
And a turnaround here. Frosty trying to get the kill on Disc, flashes forward, will get the damage through. Can they get 2 here? Calamity Shade's forced to run away using Frosty's own, not quite namesake, own favorite champion. And that's probably a bot turret here, and I think that's Feet at this point.
That would be Feet.
The brand new shoes available now to Thresh Me Gently. What kind of shoes does Thresh wear?
I feel like they're like what is it, alligator boots? Ooh.
Oh, what a wombo combo!
Wait a second. Did he just get eaten and? Wow. I'm not sure what I just saw.
Yeah, so what you saw is Urgot went ahead and hit Fear Beyond Death. Lands the Fear Beyond Death, but then immediately Tomcat's just looking for the 3rd stack, gets the Regurgitate, eats him, and then he dies mid-Regurgitate. It's fantastic.
Man. Yeah, that was one of those things you love to see, but
It's like, yeah, it's a snake eating its own tail kind of situation here. Damage coming through. Disc gonna eat 1E, doesn't care too much, has the shield still available here, stares into Zoro Bear, daring them to move forward, but a lot more health advantage for Thresh Me Gently in that fight as they rotate mid. But that is a wave clear bot in Moens on this dragon right now. Early E will get the stacks, and not sure where we're at on the dragon stacks at this point, as that dragon is going straight back to base. 6-6 on kills now with almost dead even gold. Half a K advantage The fight continues mid. Disc looking for more, not intentionally, but pushed into the backline here. Space Dandy says, I'll have some fun with you, maybe. Gets the passive damage coming through, but the rest of the team's ready to follow up. Misses 1Q and just missed out on the stun, and they're going to have to retreat here. Zoe and Space are going to have to back up as the turret damage comes through. And that's 2 kills over to the side of TMC.
You saw that Nami ult get reflected back on her. Only one person got hit with this, and nothing happened there. Blue turret getting taken down. Those just seem like it can't really be stopped at this point.
Yeah, such even trades here. This Dragon, important win con now, as we've seen the Dragon lead being part of that deciding factor for both winning teams tonight. As Goji says, I'm a big catfish. I walk at you, but will wisely choose to back up, has TP available to join this fight. And Mel on the other side does not have TP, so if they want to try to go for something, Mel's going to back here to try to match this TP. No, Mel opting to stay top, so no fight needed from blue side. As Space Dandy jumps their way in, trying to clear out a little bit of vision. TP coming down from Goji, and this is a 4v5, so this might have to be a give unless Aspen can find an angle here. But I don't think they need to with the split Mel. Maybe look for a steal, but that's about it.
I wonder if I think Mel has the power to be able to push that turret in. That's a fast Dragon.
Oh,
that was
Disc.
almost. Man.
Wow.
We've
Nothing
been
like killing it with a door.
We've seen Disc all night just be on, surging with those hits, and almost stole the Dragon.
God, now a kill going over after taking that Dragon. Frosty looking for a little fight here into Disc. Discourse have a lot of armor at this point, getting the stun down. Ultimate comes out of Frosty. Will have the stun on the backside. No, he already used in the fight, but enough to scare Disc away from this one. Again, Disc getting to play those straight line ability skill shot champions and lands pretty much everything. Winter's Bite almost stealing away a Dragon. We are back to even pushing now.
This
as
is
turrets are
this
looking
is an
neutral.
even game. This is looking good. Gold's the same, kills are the same. Dragons and some of the things, the objectives were a little different there. One dragon,
One turret.
one dragon, one turret.
But that, you're right, that could
It's
swing.
pretty close,
No kill bounties on the board. A little reflection.
Wonder if they'll prioritize Otacon with that, just to see if they can kind of shift tides there a little bit. Disc and third person kind of starting to focus on get some vision going.
Yeah, still a little ways off as any neutral camp at this point, so it's a bit of a dance looking for levels. And speaking of levels, Psy Hero has found a 2-level lead in the mid lane. Third person also up a level, as Disc flexing some strength, knowing Aspen is nearby, opportunity to jump away. And that's something you're kind of afforded in this Braum that you don't necessarily have on the Seraphine or the Thresh, is that you can always unbreakable back to the rest of your team if you need to. Now looking for the kill, and they found Zarella Bear, and they're going to flip back. Third person wanting more blood. Blood in the water, misses the ultimate just to the side. I don't know how that missed.
Same.
But sleeping, and I don't see the W procs. Maybe I think that might have been a spectator bug there. I think third person might have had the W down for a second there, but enough damage to pick up both. And again, the game kind of flips on this head, teetering to now almost a 1k gold lead onto the side of Teal Mustang Gang. So much damage. So much damage can that catfish eat without dying. Eventually, they'll go down. Frosty just getting away with their life. Gets a heal from Zarella. Forces a flash out of Psy, thinking they juke downwards, but they straight run for the base. Braum looking for more, so confident in his disc with that armor buff here. Is it an Emax Braum? I hope not, but going in strong his disc. And we finally see some of those kill bounties coming across from Teal Mustang Club. 3 on the board.
Yeah, you see a pretty good CS lead from the Zaya, from the Mordekaiser, but the Urgot, almost more than double, or I guess just about double the CS, and it's a lot of gold in their pocket.
Yeah, a lot of that funneled onto Frosty. It seems like not really showing in the levels for Frosty, but definitely in the items. Now 2 items in with that, with the Quick Blade and the Yuntal up over just the Bork of, I keep wanting to call it Frosty because it's a Twitch, but that's Shades. Maybe a flank, or maybe unintentionally running into third person, and I'm unfortunately sent back to base there. Fight continues to break out. Goji says, I have strength now, Aspen. I'm not sure if you can get out of this one. Try as you might, just a little bit of damage, and pushed over onto that Zaya right where you want that gold to be. Zorelbear going to try to get out of here on the back end. Might look for one more bubble. Bubble is down. Will eat the damage from the Urgot, and another kill on the 7-2-1 Urgot. But Shades also has a ton of damage. As Frosty walks into this, knock up from Goji Daddy will drop one. No, Disc stays alive in the fight, and we're looking for a 2-kill opportunity here. Goji trying to get on Disc as well, and Disc the bait in this situation. The dangling worm on the hook survives just barely.
That hip check from third person saving lives over there. Really it was seconds away, or moments, milliseconds away from Disc getting taken out. We're just tossing them away to save Disc.
Non-stop. Urgot landing a bunch of those. It's just so hard to walk into now. Choosing wisely to group with the team at this point. Third person, there's so many bounties available, but so much strength out of this team, and great pushing potential. We'll see if they decide to stay grouped here. They are a 5-man squad after taking that Otacon down.
Yeah, it seems like they'd back just to preserve some of that shutdown gold. Twitch still up and about there, but Twitch obviously being able to get away.
As it stands, that shutdown gold puts them over about halfway into closing this gold lead. So it is a pretty significant deal to lose those shutdowns, as Space Dandy's getting run down by Aspen. Aspen hitting one ability. That's all you need to get the Drowsy going. Sleeping at Space Dandy, but surviving a lot here. Will have a fully stacked shield. Dodges out on the E. Fantastic movement. No ball for you. Dodges out on another E. The Disdain won't land, but eventually they'll have the damage. But Frosty getting kills back on the backside. Great flash from third person around the stun, and that leads to kills going the other way. Fantastic use of abilities from both sides. And a 4-man fist bump.
Fist bump. There you go.
The synergy.
And it seems like Space Team did a good job of just delaying and trying to wait for the team to show up, and it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, I think Frosty keeps getting put in these positions where there's something tantalizing right there, and did end up cleaning up the kill in that one. But great use of the flash to get around the stun, and it's just Urgot things. TRK. Some Dirk action there.
Yeah.
But again, objective-wise, we're 2 dragons both ways. I'd love to see the side of Teal Mustang Club come together to focus down these objectives. Baron on the board right now. You got 2.5 minutes before Dragon comes up. This is your time to push that advantage a little bit, because all in all, you haven't cracked the base right now. So you need to establish some pressure and work your way in.
Yeah, I mean, both have 3 turrets, so you're kind of looking at the same map. Still, that CS lead is going to be pretty pretty impactful from the Urgot, who's 10-2 with 100 extra CS. See what they can do with that. I mean, it's getting to the point where you're gonna have to get Mullins just funneled gold before you can do some damage to the entire team to kind of hold your own.
Yeah, Moen's at level 13 now is going to do quite a bit of damage. I'm not sure where we are stack-wise for them, but I do love to see the vision. I only assume that's Zorola Bear's vision, as they had multiple wards deep behind the Baron Pit. Knowing that anything they put in the Baron Pit will get cleared out, they push deep behind so you can track everybody. Sometimes knowing where they're not is as important as knowing where they are. Nice save.
We could watch this division alone and be an interesting game.
Yeah, and you see now on screen, vision down for red side. They have no idea if this Baron is here. They see two in the mid wave. They go, okay, Mel's here. Maybe they're not on Baron at that point. Goji trying to flank around mid, and if they want a go button right now, now's the time to push into that mid, as it's just third person there. Goji flanking around the side, third person walking back towards the Baron fight now, revealing most likely that it's going on. No, chooses to stay in the mid lane. Difficult third person strat, says I'm level 16, I can hang out here for a bit. And will net them the Baron here.
You mentioned something that I don't think anyone's ever said. It's just third person, so I don't think anyone takes it too literally. It was 3-on-1.
You're absolutely right. That was a scary. Plus, you did have Mel that flashed there, flashed onto your screen for a second, who's also level 16. So Psy Hero, nothing to slack at either. Enough to scare them away, as I think they're comfortable. Thresh Me Gently is probably comfortable trying to turtle a little bit into this dragon fight. Will we use the Baron as pressure for this dragon, though? It looks like we have Urgot splitting bot here. No TP, of course, available for him. As Space Dandy does get picked off before this fight. That's a great pick from the side of the Teal Mustang Club. And third person continuing to put on that pressure, wisely choosing not to put on the W until outside of turret range. And Moen's forced to come there as well. Those two moving as a pack quite a bit. Goji and Moen's pushing back. We see that the Drake goes down, and there's a little bit of space to put some damage on third person. But Frosty's saying, the heck with space. I'm getting this turret, and I'm getting out of here. And look at that vision. Zorola Bear again pushing deep vision despite the 50-50 side of the map going to the advantage the other way, getting the vision in deep. And an eat from Tom Kench, regurgitating towards the tower, will get eaten up by third person. Great stun eventually there from Moen's, but not enough. And a 1-for-0 with a second kill going on the other side.
Yeah, it seemed like that Braum was able to keep their person alive long enough to get out and get away, and just kind of regroup and re-attack.
So Thresh Me Gently playing from behind quite a bit in gold here. What's the strategy? What are you calling for now, Sean?
I think this is what you were saying. Turtle up, kind of just hold on as long as you can. Try to force him to come to you instead of stepping out at all. But the problem is, with that right there, what we're seeing the siege minions out there. It's hard to stay alive.
And we finally see Disc miss another ability. I think that's 2 for the entire night. Yeah, another one lands. Of course, Winter's Bite dropping down in the mid lane. No, fantastic play from Disc here. Almost nothing is going to miss as Baron finally sieging down. This has got to be close to expiring soon, though. So we'll see if they can get this turret as Urgot pushes down to the bot lane, losing health. And with Urgot low, do they choose to back off mid lane? This could be the time to go in. Urgot has no TP, not showing bot lane. Space Dandy and Goji playing to the front, want to get that front to back. Say they don't quite have it. Does get Shades, not quite ready to go in. Gets a flash out of Shades. Only Disc is caught at this point, and they're able to disengage. You can see a little bit of hesitation from Thresh Me Gently, not ready to commit yet to that fight outside of the turret, and I can't blame him right now.
Yeah, I feel the same. You kind of feel like you've got a little bit of control, and so you don't want to risk anything by giving any up and potentially messing it up. So playing
Yeah.
safe and just making sure you're not letting the as you can see the Urgot come around, make sure you're not getting backdoored or anything like that. Um, yeah, it looks like they're just trying to keep their heads above water a little bit.
Yeah, that's a semi-global in Urgot who just crested level 18 at this point. So even if you can't see third person on the map, there's always the threat of getting eaten alive with an ultimate.
Absolutely.
Great team play, it looks like. We're refusing to separate here. Teal Mustang Gang says, Teal Mustang Club says, we'll let third go where they want to go, and everybody else got to clump up.
Do we have the? Are we able to check the stacks on Aurelian?
Oh yeah,
Soul?
get the Aurelian Soul stacks here. Mel is at 0 Aurelian Soul stacks and 302, so Moens is doing just fine. With a CS lead too, again CS lead for Moens and for Frosty. And Goji's catching up here.
Yeah.
Goji's now on the run. I hear just missing out on the stun. Third person right behind you, though, out of Q range. Does hit the charge on it, but turnaround from Dandy can't quite connect on the pull in. And I think we just disengaged. Great confidence, though, pushing out as, Frosty maybe biting off too much. I eat my words here. Egg on my face. Turns it around easy cheesy.
Yeah, I thought that was the end of Frosty there, and they turned it around very quickly.
Yeah, I love the confidence here. Again, this is a team that just a minute ago wasn't ready to turn around a catch onto Shades into 4, but you know, they did a great job of pushing their vision slowly out into the jungle, not overextending, and it netted them a catch in the end.
I think they're playing a safe game and a smart game. I just wonder how long they can keep it up for before it just kind of collapses on them.
Yeah, well, they've got an Aurelian Soul, so you do have back pocket scale.
Yeah. Just had a flash out of 0 there.
Just looks to play aggressive on this side. Doesn't quite eat the stun. Not all 3 feathers getting through. It's Frosty playing aggressively in the front line here as well. They're also looking to get that double bubble. Almost hits one on Shades too. Not quite ready was the team to go in on it. They're going to clear waves, and we're going to stay pretty even here because this is Soul available to the side of Teal Mustang Club. And I think that's what they're going to play for, as they only send Lilia in for it, leaving 4 vulnerable here, but not many angles to get into this fight for Thresh Me Gently.
Yeah, definitely keeping everything safe, and it looks like they're backing off to it now, just in case, or maybe even grab some picks if they need to, or if they want to. Yeah, I'm watching Side Hero with the Mel walk around and kind of stay in a really tight pack. I think they're waiting for bubbles, waiting for ults, waiting for it if she can knock back to them.
Yeah, I'd love to see a hard engage onto third person if you could here, or this mid lane. Zarella Bear doing a fantastic job with the bubbles. Just, it's so tough to follow up. And that is Dragon. Maybe they rotate Baron here too. This is a methodical play from TMC. Great stun from Frosty. Feathers are a-flying. Can Frosty avoid getting plucked here? Another root comes through. Psy Hero getting the damage here. Oh, the reflection, disgusting. Psy Hero getting the passive damage coming through. Great dodge. They're out on Lilia. As Drowsy is available, do they have enough pressure to walk towards this Baron now? It does look like they're going to go for it as a back flash from the Mel, but now they're rotating up onto Goji, and Goji, you got to hightail it out of there, friend. We're on the run here. No Drowsy opportunity yet. Eats a little bit of damage. Drowsy is available. Can you buffer it? Just missed on the buffer here, taking more damage and getting the gray health. Will be rooted momentarily. Space Dandy can do nothing for their friend and will go down eventually as Goji on a long death timer. Looks like Baron to the side of Teal Mustang Club.
They stand his club out there, trying to give a little bit of pressure, but just knew better and tried to stay back and stay alive.
Try to throw a hand out lovingly, but nothing to caress. So sad. Yeah, Baron going down slowly, third person positioning very aggressively, would you believe it? Has an opportunity to get Zarel there, but wisely moves behind a friend, dropping really low. Great turnaround. Will trade life for Baron here, but that's good shutdown gold. And yeah, Urgot still with a shutdown afterwards.
The Melon will switch, both 0 deaths there. About 8,000 or 7,600 gold lead. So let's see what we can do with it.
The decisiveness rising slowly out of the side of Thresh Me Gently is so nice to see, though, because as they scale, they're starting to get more decisive with those picks. And that's what they're going to need to win this game. They're going to have to be willing to pull the trigger when they see an opportunity to do so. And we'll see if they can catch another opportunity like that with so much gold available in shutdowns. And they are positioning aggressively to clear this Baron right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it was John that called it out in the chat a while ago. I mean, 25 minutes, you kind of knew who was going to win each game. And, there was definitely a
Oh, so much damage from Shades, extending that lead. 407 as Moen's trying to fight off the onslaught. Here, Frosty putting out some damage. Space Dandy willing to walk forward into Disc, trying to look for that kill. Will trade one back here. Will have a lot of passive damage coming out and the flash away. Frosty, I thought, fighting off more than he can chew, but again, getting the kill on the back end. Frosty
skates out, avoids the Psy Hero execute. Moen's keeping him at bay a little bit. They're gonna lose the turret, but
yeah, loses a lot, but I don't think that turret was destined to survive much longer anyway.
Much like Moen's to that ult.
Yeah, going disgusting mode as third person, but trying to get away.
Damage to him as well. That was almost enough to take him down if they had another couple seconds on Urgot.
Wow, that Leandry's damage coming from Aspen is really tough. Dawnquar, double burn, Blackfire Torch plus Leandry's onto your 80 carry hurts really bad as third person, maybe biting off more they can chew again. Actually, Disdain's back in, gets the kill quite quickly. Dandy also dropping low, can't quite get the damage, slowed down in the wave here, and we won't see Frosty get the return kill, but does pick up a kill, is third person, and again, opportunity to farm the entire map for the side of Teal Mustang game, and opportunity to farm this very heavy minion wave coming mid to the side of Thresh Me Gently.
I think Lilia has been able to kind of a field day picking up CS, but that 326 farm in third person is hard to fight.
Oh, I thought we were gonna see it again.
Oh, yeah.
Space Data, great use of the E there, pushing away Disc. Will eat one Winter's Bite, but able to kite back for the team. Frosty now here, a lot of that damage is on Frosty, but also Moen scaling to almost getting the 4-5 item status. The Space Dandy pushes them back a little bit. Aspen darting out very quickly, will not have the Drowsy as it only hits one at this point. Goji has time to go back, but they lose a turret up top. They have an exposed inhib, one already down, and will be able to clear this. So this is a war of attrition at this point until the end.
Yep. Still 20 seconds for Urgot to come up. They're Urgot full build at this point too, so
full build but no TP. So if there's a time to fight, it might be right now. I think Goji's ready to go. Base Dandy willing to commit behind two. Frosty started walking back towards base, realizing it's time to come out and fight now. Aspen dropping low. If they can avoid the stuns, as this Winter's Bite is down. Shield also down at this point. Unbreakable, pushing in towards the backline. Will drop one. Psy Hero doing the same. 80 carry down, support down at this point. You're not worried about third person, still very far away. Space Dandy willing to walk forward. Might find the Q here to land, and that's two to boot in this top lane, as they're forced to send Moens back to clear for the turrets.
Elder is up, as you see as well. Urgot making his way over there at the moment.
stay alive. They stayed off that push one more time. This team fighting their hearts out in this invitational.
You can see that they all want it. They're gonna do whatever they can to do it. And this is everyone on this team. I mean, there's somebody that's hard. They're hard fought to get where they are. They've done a lot of really good work. They've done a lot of damage in these games and throughout the whole season too. Like at least 5
Moments just caught out a little bit on the front line. Goji gonna save for second, third person, to putting in a lot of damage here. Zerobo does hit one bubble, but is it enough? They're not able to have Frosty answer this as waves are starting to crash into the base. They did get revive on one turret, but that's 3 kills going over to TMC, and they are looking for the base here. Shade saying, I could pick up one more kill. That would be nice. I think she said dee.
Yeah, Shade's ult was down, so couldn't make that happen. But Frosty getting a little health. Or sorry, Zerella getting a little health after the team. Couldn't save it yet.
And the most beautiful sound effect outside of a Heartsteel proc. We've got Elder Dragon. We're staring down a potential end to this game. We have Baron spawning in 4 seconds now too. They'll commit 3 to walk over there. Shade's pretty safe with Braum in tow as 2 waves of super minions come crashing in. It looks like we're going to send 5 men to commit to this Baron, so no need to push that bot side right now as top and mid crash in on their own. Could this be a buy point before we start this fight?
I think so. They've secured the Elder, so they know they can't really fight a Baron. They take the Baron, they put your siege minions, they just slowly push in and bring the walls in on that Nexus.
I think we're looking to end though. Somebody pinged forward. Shades was looking for the back right there initially. Cancels it to walk back in with the team. They're ready to fight this one. And with Baron plus Elder, they're ready to walk in. Inhib respawn, now drop back down, not destined for this world. Top Inhib still has some time on it. Third person walks forward very aggressively. Disdain into the turret. We'll find moments there for a lot of damage. Tidal wave comes out. It's being saved a little bit. The bubble fantastic from Zerobo. Catches this 100. We have a clean ace going the other way. Turning the game on its head. Sean, hold me back, friend. What is going on?
I gotta hold my back from this. I'm trying to figure out what that's in there. I expected somebody to get taken out from the Elder buff, and did not happen. Watching people just kind of sort of drop like flies there, and pretty decent health toll on Brush Me Gently. So they're gonna push for what they can here. Not what I expected out of that fight. I was ready to say that they fought hard, they fought well, but here we are. But they're fighting harder and more well than we expected. They're doing great.
Brush Me Gently forgot to read what happened on the last page of the Alamo. Apparently we had a little bit of lag on the stream, but they were unwilling to give up. I think a little bit aggressively forward was the play from third person here. As we saw that push coming in with the Baron, they had double those most important buffs. Sorry for the turret showing it's there. That's the classic spectator issue. As third person moves very far forward, you're going to see the disdain that just misses Zeroabel here. Yeah, hits the Q on the charge, tries to go in, ends up eating the tidal wave on the backside. 4 people hit with the tidal wave there. Double bubble comes out, disc goes down, and the back lane gets shredded as Frosty is at that point now. You cannot forget about Frosty on the side. Moen's laying down damage too. We got a ball game here.
I would love to see the damage that Moen's put down in that fight, because it seemed like that's where a lot of that was coming from. Was the breath, and then obviously Frosty cleaning up where they could.
Yeah.
And it seemed like third got avoided the wave from Nami. I could be wrong. I thought they avoided it, but still.
I think you're right. They dodged the wave. Yeah. Forces them to the side though. And what a tough break then. I think, you saw a little bit of dissidence from the team after taking the Baron some of them willing to back, some of them wanting to fight, and you know, it's hard to rule against that with their lead at this point. But that lead cut down to 6,000, and that 6,000 gold matters less and less as everybody starts to approach level 18. Even the support's at level 16 right now, and capping out on builds.
Yeah, about 5,500 or so right now for gold difference there. I mean, still 10 kills. I mean, we're still sold to Teal Mustang Club, but yeah, this is a ball game here. We've got some people fighting for the lives. 524 Stardust for Aurelion Sol. So that's gonna make or break things too. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you can't make those aggressive plays walking in anymore. Even with Moens, the Dragon's Breath, of course, is very strong, but that empowered R is going to be massive. The E is going to be massive as well. Moens could, you know, honestly, could get melted down very quickly, but as long as you get those two abilities out, you're doing a ton of damage for the team. As we see a much safer, slow siege now from the side of Teal Mustang Club. As they push down that top inhibitor, mid inhibitor gonna respawn here in the next minute and a half.
But good job wearing out the Elder, wearing out the Baron.
There's no better wear out than a clean ace. And a root from Moens has to flash, but third person can't quite get in there. Tough to lose the flash for Moens, but they're clearing wave pretty well. As Relibear is ready to go in, hits that tidal wave, maybe catches two there, forces the ultimate out of Disc as well. So two support ults down, third person again, positioning aggressively, has to be saved by Disc, but does not get the save as ultimate comes through. You get to go to the Death Realm for about half a second. Many ultimates burnt. And honestly, all in all, a stop siege again from the side of Thresh Me Gently.
Yeah, looking promising for Thresh Me Gently here to at least kind of hold on as long as they can. And the longer they hold on, I mean, just it's the more money in their pockets, the more they catch up, the more that it just becomes a game of skill at that point. Who can outmaneuver and outplay and outthink.
Yeah, 5K lead now, cut down from the 6 we saw a moment ago. And again, capping out on items slowly. Farthest along seems to be that 360 CS Saya in the bot lane, who is certainly full items, choosing to hold onto the boots as they're the upgraded ones. Nobody can really get through Moens here, as Goji Daddy looking to trade some damage forward. Still a lot of ultimates available on both sides. We see committing Aurelion Sol ult comes down, a lot of damage pushing through, kiting back. Disc 100, no friends to go back to at this point, probably going to drop. Goji Daddy looking for more. Can't quite see Calamity. And they get out of there, only dropping the support. And with nothing on the board right now, that doesn't hurt, but boy does that feel good from the side of Thresh Me Gently as they come out on top of another fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing to feel like you've kind of been beaten on this whole time and then they're able to kind of push back that well. I mean, their gold lead's down to 3.8, so they're definitely closing that gap.
They're playing aggressively here into this dragon. There is about a 10-second, 20-second differential between the spawn of Disc 100 and this dragon as it just comes up now. Vision, of course, Vision so strong from Thresh Me Gently, always pushing up that Vision as there's a lot of, you can see an exact flip on the team. Fight starts here, third person caught out a little bit, might catch Zerolibear, flashes forward, but pulled back from Space Dandy. What a teammate, saving Zerolibear. And the exact opposite stories as we see 1, 2, 3, 4 yellow trinkets, yellow or blue trinkets on the side of Teal Mustang Gang, and we see a couple more reds, 2 reds on the side of Thresh Me Gently, but now we have a little bit of a base race going as Thresh Me Gently has been willing to give up those inhibs over and over again. Again, the top one about a 2-minute lag behind, so they haven't had them, they're oscillating between having 2 but now 3 up at all times. Dragon jumps down the other way. We're closing in on a fight here. Danny looking for Sai here. Only wants Sai in this fight. Disc may be able to push them out. Frosty says, no, thank you. 1,000 gold to me.
That was a fast kill right there. They wanted it for sure. This is looking like a lot of opposite fights from before. This is where Teal Mustang Club was kind of coming in and tossing TMG around. They're gently starting to run the show here.
That's it. Goji running the 2G strats, just stopping the forts at this point, trying to leave room for the Baron to go through here. They will take that Baron down so quickly. Frosty plus Zoella plus the passive on Space Dandy burns it down. And despite having 3 waves pushing in on you, you have Baron to defend at this point. This is going to come down to one decisive team fight as we see the gold finally flip over to the side of Thresh Me Gently.
Oh yeah. It's only taken 51 minutes, but we got there.
Is there anything more that you want out of a decisive game 3 than a 50-minute epidemic? I didn't check to see if Zyra landed an E at 24 minutes, but let's pretend it happened this game too. And we're going to finish on probably one team fight as we're more group mid right now from the side of Teal Mustang Club. They look to push that down. The only thing that matters is the team buffs at this point. Jungle minions mean a lot less when everybody's about full items. Even the supports rocking full inventories at this point. And a long-range double burn. Beautiful camera work from our cameraman there, following that in and forcing a back, which might be good because somebody has to deal with third person.
Yeah. Well, I think Mullins is the one to do it. I think that makes sense. But as soon as they get caught out, I mean, that's the end of that too.
Yeah,
that elder buff is up, so they just ended.
Yeah, Moen's, of course, not going to have the pressure to walk into third person, like you said, but Goji maybe very tanky, has 550 Heartsteel stacks right now, going to get regurgitated for a second. Moen's wisely trying to move away from it, doesn't really have the damage to hit the ultimate at this point, and third person is going to have to limp away from this fight below half health. Eats an ultimate here, flying as the Dragon. Dragon's Breath will drop, and all of a sudden we're 1 for no one right now. Advantage over to Thresh Me Gently, but nowhere to push with 3 inhibs down. It's a long uphill climb, Sean.
Absolutely, yeah. They're doing a good job keeping third out of just running through the base. Still lost the inhib, but I think they're going to try to make some kind of play for it. They're trying to push up a little bit. Mel with the TP, but Mel by herself can't teleport to the base to get anything out of it. No minions. You got Moens laying in wait back there too, keeping the base safe. They're pushing it down. They're going to make things happen here. They should be able to get an inhibitor out of this.
And they're going strong for this too. Goji Daddy, so much health, willing to jump in there. I don't know if you can survive and execute range here. Frosty also on the front line, gonna get popped here. Moen staying in the base to clear. Space Dandy trying to drop one, can't get one back. Very wisely, Zorro there getting out of there and maybe turn back one as Space Dandy looking for 2. Not a lot of options here as Disc is so tanky at this point. Not even Zorella can stick around. That is a 3-4-2 turnaround back going the other way for Teal Mustang Club. Do they have enough to push through this Aurelion Soul with these big 50-second back timers? 60 seconds still on Space Dandy.
Yeah, Lily isn't there, so the big stun is gone. You can get some from a Braum ult, which is not up. I mean, ults are all down. You got the Urgot ult is up, but they're way behind in teleport.
Holy moly, stacks up the wazoo. What was that total for the 709? Oh my goodness.
I'm still counting here. I mean,
that's a decent stack total for Nasus.
Right. And,
on an ASOL.
Almost cut them off the turret there.
Yeah, but getting pushed down, they might lose the second inhib turret, and they might just be overwhelmed here as Moen's trying to get away, gets canceled by Disc 100. Another hit winner's bite, and that will be it as this 54-minute game ends with a decisive takeaway from Teal Mustang Club as 5 walking in.
Yeah, that was an incredible game. Everyone fought really hard, and it was probably them changing their name from gang to club, which is what secured that win for them.
Oh, I think so too. Man, that was a crazy crazy combination. What a holdout. It's almost as we said, it had to be an early game play from Teal Mustang Club in order to win. And they had that lead, and it was a scaling play from Thresh Me Gently. And both teams got to play their comps here. As the teams show up in the chat here, it looks like third person is exhausted, and I don't blame you.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a big OMG from Disc because it's hard to maintain that many solid hits for over 3 games over the course of what 3 hours at this point, 3.5 hours. So it's been a ride. Yeah, it was definitely a roller coaster. I was feeling that. Was up, was down, and there was highs, there's lows. We're crying, we're laughing. It was quite the night.
I'm out of emotions too, Sean.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, what a fantastic way to close out the Crystal Invitationals here. How do we even give an MVP? Do we throw this to the chat? Who's our MVP from this one here, guys?
It's not a bad idea. Be
Who's
curious to see
still
what
awake with me?
says. Yeah.
We
They're all
gotta
probably
hear
talking
from
to each other,
somebody.
honestly. Yeah, somebody's got to say. But yeah, those were great games. I mean, yeah, I mean, who do you give that to?
They're all so they're all so humble. I
Yeah.
mean, man, I could bring in just about anybody. I kind of that the Shades disc combo in the bot was amazing. The Psy Hero pop off from the mid lane was fantastic. I think
What if we brought in Disc based on all 3 games and just the solid performance they had?
Oh man.
I
Oh,
think
Hello.
you're
I
just
guess
that
it's
might be
talking
the
happening.
me into
play
this
here.
now? Oh my goodness.
Oh, Disc, can you
Hello.
hear us?
I sure can. Absolutely.
Welcome in.
Hello.
Holy moly, a long 3 games, friend. How do you feel?
I am still like shaking right now, to be honest.
You went on a rampage all 3 games picking a skill shot based support where you have to land Qs, and I don't think I could count the number of misses you had on Qs on one hand. So
I try really hard, especially game 1, getting the Seraphine. We were so excited to see that go through, or at least I was. I don't know about my team. Because that's my girl. Uh But then Thresh, I don't know. I think just something felt off about that game, and so I felt like I was landing my cues, I know, and everything, but like, yeah. But then the Braum, like I'm gonna be honest, I don't play Braum like very much at all.
I was wondering.
Um, so
Not from the
I
play,
was
but I
just
don't
kind
remember
of
that
like,
being in your champ pool.
it's because it's not. I can count on one hand the number of times I've played Braum on the Rift, so I was like, I think this is the move. They had a lot of projectiles that I could block, and it was just and it ended up being good, and yeah, skill shots.
It was great to watch. I mean, we could definitely count the number of misses on one hand, and some of the hooks you had were just incredible. The lantern in that second fight though, to get Shades out was people were kind of yelling about it in the chat. It was so good. So just your ability to use abilities in the right way, the right time, and perfect with such precision was really really great to watch. And it was just you made for really exciting games. And
Thank
more
you.
often than not, I feel as too as a support player, supports don't always get the same kind of recognition. But I think
No,
we had to have said your name over and over and over again in all three
well,
3 games. You really came and you showed up and you obviously made things happen here.
thank you. Yeah. I mean, I know I make it super clear that I'm support, 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 and that is what I do. And I definitely can't play anything else. But I take my job very seriously, and I love it. I wouldn't trade it for the
It
world.
it shows you were the assist leader for the regular season with 273 in Crystal this season. Fantastic job. For
Thank
anybody out
you.
there who's debating on joining the league, maybe they're a support player and they're not sure if they're cut out for a league, what would you say to them?
So when I was starting off to be like actually support, like the biggest thing that I learned, especially from Shades, I learned so much playing with Shades actually. To kind of keeping cool. I'm not good at it very much, but it's so big for mental, especially in support, I think, because you are generally not the one that's like getting all the kills, of course. You're not the one that's like doing all the crazy things. You're doing the other parts that are letting other people do that. And so it can be frustrating sometimes when it's like you feel like you're doing everything you can and just things aren't working out. You might just be dying a lot. But like being able to keep your mental is just so huge.
And I
Definitely
love,
held it together.
Like, I mean, look at
yeah.
that. I'm just looking at the stats for the last game right now. I mean, I died the most out of everyone in the game.
You're just trying to get on the leaderboard somewhere. Should
Exactly.
we should we check your death rankings for? I guess I didn't even look to see who died the most this season.
I was up there, but then I had to miss a week, and then last week I had to miss most of the week.
Oh,
So,
you were
I ended
pumping
up
stats, skipping the week, huh?
exactly.
You did. You were only 3 away from having the most vision, I think, in this league, if I'm not mistaken.
That
Um,
sounds right.
so
I'm definitely up there.
And that showed a lot in the games we're watching too. I mean, anytime we saw a really incredible play, after it was over, we'd notice the wards you had placed and just kind of what everything looked like and how much vision your team had in order to stay alive and to make to make good decisions and to be really effective out there and securing objectives and stuff too. So the vision game is strong and it definitely shows.
And I also like I really pride myself on that vision, but even further, I pride myself on really trying to know, like, especially where junglers are going to be. Even when I don't have vision of the jungle, like I'd like to say I'm pretty constantly calling out, like, okay, jungler's there, or this person's here. Like, knowing where everyone is just so huge, even if you can't actually see them. It's just that prediction. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and
That's
going to
great
them
to
as
see.
well. I mean, finding you in the top lane sometimes when you're roaming map. So you're the whole package.
Yeah. I might roam a little bit too much sometimes, but I make it work.
No, I
That's
think
what you
that was
do.
fantastic. That's a great thing to see out of our Crystal players too, getting across the map. It's a team game. It's a team effort. You're the team support, and I think
Absolutely.
you hold that role perfectly. What a role model for the support lane.
Thank you.
But all right, well, thank you so much. I'll send you back to what's left of your team there. We'll get closed out.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Disc.
All right. And with that, that leads us to the end of our cast of the Crystal Invitationals for season 17. Please, 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 if you enjoyed it, join us for the next cast invitationals. It's going on every week here until we finish out every division. We got Ruby coming up. We got Pearl, Ruby, and Topaz coming up very soon. Sean, thank you so much for joining the cast here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
And please check us out on cmsaesports.com if you want to join us. Shop.cmsaesports.com if you want some of that new swag. And we will see you all next time. Bye.
See you.